pass. Reagan Hufter brought the heat. Strap in, Rebel football fans, and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio, KDQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com. Give to Colton Meek. He's down inside the 10, breaks a tackle to the 5, still on his feet.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Cash Honda, Yamaha, and Logan, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, Rocky Mountain Yeti, by Evanston Regional Hospital, Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho, mylocalradio.com, and by Plains Tire.
Anderson pulls it out, running the option left side, room to run, breaks one tackle, dives forward, and he is just shy of the end zone.
And now, Rebel football fans.
Rolls to his right, looking to throw. He's got his man. Throw on the sideline. Caught!
Hang up your boots, crank up the volume, and get ready to roll as we head to the gridiron to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan Steinekert.
Deep down the left sideline, Trineri steps in front and intercepts it. Hello, Buckaroos. In the first round of the state playoffs, a home game for the Rebels, road for the Monticello Buckaroos. Kickoff is scheduled for 45 minutes from now. In the meantime, we've got your pregame show presented by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. We'll hear from her and then set the scene for today's game of Rich Rebel football on KDQ FM 98.3, live streaming video at mylocalradio.com and on KSL.com. Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Because achieving financial goals requires a plan, it's nice to know that you can visit the Zions Bank Randolph branch to discuss and plan your investment strategies with a financial specialist. Your Zions Bank branch also offers banking on the go with mobile banking and bill pay, home loans, checking and savings accounts, and more. You'll always see a friend at the Zions Bank in Randolph, Utah. Stop in today. We haven't forgotten who keeps us in business.
Welcome back to the pregame show presented by Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. We've got an exciting game for you this afternoon at Rich High School. First round of the state playoffs, and the Rebels somehow earned a home game in this first round. 2-7 this year, the Rebels come in, but 1-2 in the 1A North. They finished with a win over Altamont. Altamont beat Layton Christian. Layton Christian beat Rich, so we had a three-way tie in the 1A North, and Rich won the coin toss to get the home game in this first round. Rebels, as I mentioned, 2-7 overall offensively, scoring 8 points a game, allowing 28 points per contest. The Buckaroos come in at 4-5, and they went 1-2 in the 1A South. Got blown out by Parowan, lost a close one against Milford just a couple of weeks ago. And that was a final score of 32-26. Coach Reed Anderson told me before, about an hour ago, I was just chatting with him. He said, I'm convinced if we'd had 30 more seconds on the clock, we would have won that game. They had the ball late with just a few seconds to go and couldn't get another score on the board. Buckaroos are averaging about 22 points a game on offense, and they've allowed about 22 points a game on defense. There's a .1 differential, a point differential on those offensively and defensively, but they've been balanced. You see that balance on offense and defense. You'll see that balance today in the running and passing game. They run it about 50% of the time. They pass it about 50% of the time. We'll tell you more details on that here in a bit as well. Rebels are coming off a 9-6 overtime win over the Altamont Buckaroos. Rich did not do much offensively. They did just enough. They scored late in the fourth quarter, got the ball at their own 17-yard line, 18-yard line, went 82 yards in 13 plays. A couple of the first downs on that final drive were thanks to Altamont Penalties, the Longhorns finished with 14 penalties for a total of 116 yards. That it was 5 personal fouls, a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties as well, as Altamont really hurt themselves with those penalties. And Rich was able to score, missed the extra point, and forced overtime. And in overtime, the Rebels' defense held strong. Monticello had not Monticello, but Altamont had a first and goal at the Rebel 10. They went 4 and out, a dropped pass, and partially the defender, Landon Hunting, there made the tackle, made the hit just as the pass came in and forced the incompletion. And Altamont did not score in their overtime. Rich got it and kicked a 25-yard field goal. Stetson Huffaker kicked it straight through from the left hash, and the Rebels won 9-6 in that game. And I mentioned the Rebels offensively, just 123 yards in the contest. Altamont up and down the field, especially with the running game, 287 rushing yards, but they just didn't score. And that's been something that Rich has done a few times this season against opponents. Look at Duchesne a few weeks ago here at Rich. They did score twice in that game, plus a safety, but if you look at their yardage, they really should have scored more. Same with Kanab. And even going back to the last time Rich faced Monticello, the Buckaroos had a bunch of yards on offense. Will be about 405 by my stats unofficially. They had more than 220 passing yards plus 180 plus rushing yards, 405 total, but only scored twice in the game. And if Rich can do that again today, that bend but don't break, that's going to be a key, is obviously to keep the opposition out of the end zone. The Buckaroos come into this one, as I mentioned, at 4-5. Their last few years, they've been losing in the quarterfinals. Lost to Duchesne the last 2 years, and to Rich in the quarters, semis, and quarters the 3 years before that. 4 state championships in the Monticello Buckaroo football history. In 2004 was their most recent one. They won it in 01, in 92, and in 69. The Buckaroos are 4-4 in title games. And boy, most recently though, they have played very tough. They got blown out at Parowan 50-18, but then 2 weeks ago lost at Milford 32-26, and last week a convincing win over Kanab 33-21. So the Buckaroos come in playing well, looking tough, and Coach Reed Anderson told me earlier today, again, he said, I think we've figured it out. Our boys have a lot of confidence. That close loss against Milford gave them some confidence that man, they can really do this, and they're a good football team. And so that's what they'll look to do. Again, the last time these teams played, it was Monticello with a 13-7 win over Rich at Monticello. That's your scene set. We'll touch on the town of Laketown Ledger and take a look at the history between these two teams in a few minutes later on in our pregame show. But first, we want to thank Zions Bank, financial resources, wealth management solutions, mortgage services, and more. Zions Bank, more than just a bank, part of your community. We're about 40 minutes away from game time, and we've got to move along with our pregame show brought to you by Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, where we'll talk with the Mound Valley Cattle Company Where Are They Now guests in just a bit when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com and live.ksl.com as well. The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show. Today, the Rebels are at home in the first round of the state playoffs, hosting the Monticello Buckaroos. Rich got a walk-off field goal last week to win the game against Altamont, and then won the coin toss on Friday morning to earn that second-place seed and a first-round home game. Meanwhile, the Buckaroos finished 1-2 in the South region. They beat Kanab last week to earn the third-place seed. We're about 35 minutes away from our opening kickoff, and it's time to catch up with Rebel alum Danielle Reed. You may know her as Danielle Huffner. She graduated from Rich High School in 2014. This portion of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show is called Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. We'll be right back with Danielle on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com. Winston Churchill said, "No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle." The same is true about education. No hour of life is wasted when learning. Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, understand the value of good education. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, Mound Valley Cattle Company is proud to support the students at Rich High School in academics and activities. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Ryan Steinecker on the Mound Valley Cattle Company, where they now interview with Danielle Huffner, 2014 graduate of Rich High School. I should say Danielle Reed. Thanks for your time, Danielle.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
So let's just start off with the name of the interview. Where are you now?
So I'm down in Provo right now. I'm finishing up my associates, and then I'm going to go to BYU in the winter semester to study landscape management and hoping to finish up in about 2 years or so.
Is your dad getting ready to retire? Are you going to take over up there, or do you want to start a business somewhere else, or what's the plan, I guess?
You know, that's a really good question. I don't know. My dad, I don't think is planning to retire anytime soon, but I just like plants and being out in the outdoors. Right now, I currently manage a garden center down here in Provo for the Intermountain Farmers Association. So I'm kind of hoping to learn a little bit more knowledge about plants and things of the scientific background so I can help customers better. So kind of just to see where it'll take me. So
Gotcha. Bryce might get mad at me for implying that he's at an age where he could even consider retiring. I hope we don't.
No, you won't offend him. He might just give you a hard time back about something.
Danielle, I mentioned in the introduction, it's now Danielle Reed. Tell me about your husband. Where'd you guys meet, and how long you been married?
Yeah, so I met Ryan in our student ward down here in Provo, and he goes to BYU, and he moved into the ward, and we just started talking and kind of hit it off great, and we got married September 21st.
Oh, so just that recently. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. It's pretty great.
So far, 3 weeks of married bliss, I imagine.
Yep, so far, so good.
Good. Well, let's get back to, Rich High School. You graduated in 2014, so it hasn't been too long. Let me actually ask first. Just tell me what you participated in at Rich High School.
So I participated in volleyball, and then I also played basketball all 4 years. I did a little bit of I was the sophomore class president and things like that, but other than that, just normal students.
Were you in the musical?
I was not in the musical, no. Play acting isn't my thing. I'm a little bit stage shy, I guess you could say. But yeah, I loved playing basketball and volleyball. That was great. Definitely enjoyed that while I was there.
Tell me some favorite memories of playing for Coach Finney Stewart.
There's a lot of great memories. I remember when I was a freshman, I came into her volleyball program and I couldn't even do a single double jump. And that's kind of a requirement to play for Coach Stewart, is to know how to do double jumps. So I spent a whole evening just trying to do 300 my freshman year. And wow. And then by the end of my senior year, I was able to do them no problem. And it was just kind of fun, a fun memory to look back and see the difference and the change that happened while I played for her. One of my favorite memories of actually playing was, I think we were playing North Summit my senior night, and our team had just played fantastic. It was so fun. We were all on, and we beat them in 3, and the student body was there and was loud and fun, and it was just a really fun night to just be able to play well and beat North Summit and have a good, ending home game of my career. So that's probably one of my highlights for sure.
That's a good win. North Summit's a tough team the last several years.
Yeah, they were a good team. Definitely we had to work for it, but it was so fun.
How about any memories from playing for Coach Ferguson?
Playing for Coach Ferguson, we had fun. I loved going on trips. We always had fun on the bus rides, and cause we spent at least 4 hours on the bus quite often, traveling to different teams, and then just playing hard with a team and I remember, one specific game I remember playing was also my senior year. We were playing St. Joe, and they had beaten us for the past couple of years, and we were able to win. It was in the consolation bracket at state. We were playing for third and fourth, and so we were able to take third, and that was fun because they were a team that had beat us for a while, and to have that ability to beat them, it felt good to finish off like that.
I remember that. They beat you, was it just a year or two before in the championship, right?
Yeah, they beat us 2 years in a row before that. So I remember when we lost the semifinal game where our one consolation was like, well, we won't have to play St. Joe. And then they lost, and we were like, dang it, now what? And then we just decided to go out and play hard, and we won, and it felt good. So it was great.
We're talking with Danielle Reed, a 2014 graduate of Rich High School in the Mound Valley Cattle Company, where they now interview. Danielle, anything else from being at Rich High School that sticks out in your memory?
Not terribly. I just remember all the good people that were there to help and support, from coaches to teachers to the parents. It was a really tight-knit community, and it was really fun to be able to play sports there and go to school there and be a part of that small-town community. It's a little bit different down here in Provo. It's a lot bigger. So.
If I may ask, what is Ryan studying? What's he going into?
Yeah, so he's studying public health. He wants to do more of like the business side of the hospital. So that's what he's working on right now. There's a possibility of going to graduate school so he can get a master's so he can manage a hospital. That's what he's looking at right now.
Now, Danielle, I'm sure you've followed the Rebels since you left. You went on a mission, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yep, I went to Oakland, San Francisco, California from 2014 to 2016.
That must have been a big change from Rich County as well.
I was a little culture shock, that's for sure. It definitely took a small-town girl to a really big city. So it definitely took me a little bit, but I love it. Don't know if I could live there because it is a really big city and still pretty country girl, but it was a great experience for sure.
I imagine you've kept in touch with how the Rebels are doing. Lincoln, the Rebels in 2014-15 won the football and basketball state championships, and Lincoln was a big part of that.
Yeah, that was really fun. They played that game right before I left, so that was a really fun game to watch before I left for a while. But yeah, they did well. It was fun to watch that team play.
And of course, Reagan, a senior this year.
Yes, Reagan is a senior this year.
So, Danielle, I'm leading up to the Rebels are in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs this week. And do you have a prediction on the game, how the Rebels will do in the playoffs?
You know, that's a really good question. I know they've worked really hard and they played their hearts out, especially just watching Reagan. And he just works really hard and plays hard and tries to encourage his team. So I think as long as they keep playing hard and working hard and having fun, lots could happen for them and they could continue on. And I just hope, my hope for them is to have good memories, especially as Reagan is a senior, to end well and just have fun memories and not worry about whatever happens. But I hope they do well. If they deserve it. They've worked hard.
Thanks, Danielle. Anything else that we haven't talked about you want to touch on today?
Not that I can think of.
It's been a pleasure. On the Mound Valley Cattle Company, where they now interview Danielle Huffner-Reed, 2014 graduate of Rich High School. Thanks so much. Congratulations on the recent wedding, and good luck with everything you have going on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Danielle, for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. When we return on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show of Rich Rebel Football on KDQ-FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. This is Rebel coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Count on us to care. The Rebels had an 8-game winning streak going against the Monticello Buckaroos, but on September 7th, earlier this season, Rich lost at Monticello 13-7. Rich looks to start a new winning streak against Monticello today, and they'll try to do it at home in the first round of the state playoffs. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Reed Anderson, and then we'll talk to Rebel head coach Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on today's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football on the Wildlife with live streaming video at MyLocalRadio.com.
Go Rebels!
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. Ryan Steineckert with Reed Anderson, head coach of the Monticello Buckaroos. Coach, you guys seem like you've been coming on strong the last few weeks.
Yeah, I've been happy with how they've been playing. It's been it's been really fun to see them perform and do the things that they know how to do. I think they've really taken to it.
Tell me about your games with Milford, a real close loss, and then the solid, convincing win over Kanab last week.
Yeah, that Milford game, I think that really gave the kids confidence that, hey, they can do this. I mean, Milford by no means is any slouch of a team, and, I'm a firm believer if we would have had 30 more seconds, I think we could have won that game. We were driving and just kind of ran out of time. And then Kanab, that good game against Milford propelled them into the next week, and the kids took care of business. And so, they're starting to see the vision, and that's something you always hope as a coach.
How do you guys feel about having to be on the road at Rich today?
That's all right. We knew we were going to have to travel, especially after that embarrassing loss to Parowan. And we were just glad it wasn't Duchesne because we've done that the last 3 years. And so it's nice to have a change of scenery. And it's beautiful up here right now. So we're feeling pretty good about the draw we had.
We better knock on wood. It's a few minutes till game time. Things might change.
Yeah, you never know in Utah, right? We could get 10 inches of snow here between now and 2.
Coach, you guys, one of the things that impresses me about your offense is the balance. You're about 50-50 run-pass, and you talk about teams like Parowan, Duchesne, then it's run, then let's run some more, and maybe pass once in a while. And then Milford's on the other end of it. They pass. Kanab does a lot of passing. Rich is doing a lot of passing this year. You found success with that balance, though.
Yeah, and I don't it's not been on purpose. It's just kind of how it works out, and at the end of the game, when I tally it up, I'm kind of like, oh, wow, well, I guess that kind of worked out in our favor. So the biggest balance I like to see is when, we have a few players that are obviously very key for us, but when you look at the other statistics, we have, 3 or 4 of the receivers that have caught at least 10 passes this year, which I think is a huge tribute to, Mark and distributing the ball to be balanced in that aspect as well.
You guys beat Rich back last month, I think September 7th. It was 13-7. You had a lot of yards. Did you feel like you should have had a few more points on the board?
Oh, of course, and I think everybody that's been playing Rich this year has felt that way. That's kind of been one of our focuses this week, is the fact that Rich just doesn't allow people to score when they're close. They're gritty kids, and just when their backs are against the wall, they do a dang good job at not letting you put points on the board, and it's certainly disheartening to teams. I mean, we certainly saw that against Altamont. They really just kind of got discouraged. We felt like we could have scored some more touchdowns, and we're hoping that we're not in that same situation today.
On the other side of the ball, you pretty much shut Rich down except for a final drive late in the fourth quarter. I imagine you want to do the same thing today.
Well, yeah, of course, you never want to give people yards, right? And obviously the offense that Rich, they've same thing with the new offense week 4. Things were still kind of slow. Things were still kind of getting installed. Man, they look much better now. So, it'll be a much tougher job to do that same thing, but hopefully, obviously, we can.
Do you have other adjustments you want to make from that 13-7 win last month?
After watching the last couple games of both of us and then going back and watching that September 7th game, I was kind of like, wow, we kind of look like two different teams. It's like starting from scratch. So I didn't take too much away from that September 7th game to change anything. I was just relied on the last couple weeks because we both looked so different.
Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, it's just great to be here.
Reed Anderson, head coach of the Monticello Buckaroos, I appreciate your time. Thanks to your team for making the drive up. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's action. You're tuned in to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl. This is Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Many of our customers have trusted Jensen Wood Motors for generations. It's important to all of us here at the dealership we always work for the people. My grandpa was a man of his word, and he passed that tradition on to us. We understand that we're here to serve our customers, and every day we try and do that to the best of our ability. We really appreciate each customer, and we want to make sure that they feel that when they're doing business with us.
Jensen Wood Motors, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Montpelier, Idaho.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. When these teams met September 7th at Monticello, the Buckaroos marched up and down the field, 405 yards of offense, 230 through the air, and 184 on the ground. But they only got into the end zone twice. Rebels, meanwhile, had only 128 yards of offense, and a good portion of that came on a 70-yard touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. Rich will have to be better offensively today if they want to move on to the semifinals. Stay tuned. We'll talk with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl to find out how his offense plans to be better today when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
As the hospital closest to Bear Lake, professional medical care is always available at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. As a full-service hospital, Bear Lake Memorial offers an emergency room that's open 24/7. They treat patients of all ages. Other professional services include physicians' clinics, assisted living, home health services, counseling, dialysis, physical, occupational, and speech therapy, orthopedic care, and skilled nursing. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Hello all, Dr. Dog here. I want to talk to you about PetMinerals.com. By merging the highest quality veterinary grade ingredients with highly advanced mineral technology, PetMinerals.com produces the most innovative pet supplements on the market. The supplements focus on specific needs like hip and joint, digestive, and overall diet. You and I both know a healthy pet is a happy pet. Show your pets how much you care. Order them supplements today at PetMinerals.com.
Ryan Steinecker with Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team. Coach, a 9-6 victory over Altamont, a walk-off field goal. Do you know, has that ever happened in Rich Rebel football?
As of my knowledge, checking out everything, I have never heard, nobody has said that it ever has. So, yeah, I think it's the first in school history. So, yeah.
Tell me your thought process. It's 4th down and 7. You call a timeout. Let's go from there.
I just thought we were just going to go for it and thought, well, I'll just regroup everything and make sure that it's the play we wanted and we wasn't rushed and hurried. And then as soon as I took the time out, I had a couple of assistant coaches say, why not try this? And so I thought, why not give it a shot? The worst is we play for another overtime because we had the ball last. And so I was like, well, there's nothing to lose. And if we win and if we gain, that's great. And Stetson stepped up and did a wonderful job.
He drilled that field goal. I mean, you can't kick it better than that.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent with things most of the year. He did struggle with that PAT, but I think he kind of just was rushing himself. And so I think
when we finally took that time out, settled him down, he was okay and decided, you know what, I can kick it.
We've talked a time or two this year about the ball bouncing your way. The coin bounced your way on Friday. That worked out well for your favor.
I think that every bad thing that has happened all season long just flipped, and we were used up all the rest of our coin flipping luck on that. But, you know, I'm going to take it. Whatever fate has to do, you know, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to take it.
And we've talked about what the matchup would have been had you had to go to Parowan or Milford, a couple teams that you've lost pretty badly to. At home, you'll host Monticello, a team you lost to at their place. And we've talked about that game that you guys just didn't really show up until that end of the fourth quarter. What do you need to do to make sure that doesn't happen this time?
You know, there's a few things. Monticello's a really good team. They've got some big kids. They are really getting better as the season goes on. They're starting to pass really well, you know, so we've got to be ready for a lot of their quick slants. They love the quick slants. And then they'll run it, you know. If it depends on, I think the way that the quarterback reads it, you know, it's a run or pass every single time. So we've got to be able to take the quick slants away, but yet still watch the run game and not let him get a big one. He happened to do that against Kanab and a few teams. So we just got to key on the running back and yet slow down their pass attack a little bit.
We saw this against Altamont. Monticello did about the same thing when you were at their place last month. A lot of offensive production from their team, but not a lot of scoring. What are you guys doing in the red zone to keep teams out of the end zone?
When you have a chance to spread things out and they run a spread offense, it's really easy to move the ball. But when you get down inside the red zone, you know, it shortens that box up and there's not as many opportunities. There's more crowded in where you want to go, and so it kind of throws things off. And that's what we found with our offense too. You know, it's the same thing, and you play against your own offense and learn how to, okay, we're here, we got to go. So we've just focused on shortening everything and not worried about the big stuff, just not letting them get a touchdown off of it or something and come back to fight for the second part of it.
So speaking of offense and trying to keep things opened up, how will you be better on offense this week than you were at Monticello in September?
We're going to have our handful. They've got some really good kids. There's a Wilcox kid. He is exceptional at his position. You know, they move him around. I've watched him. He's played end, he's played tackle, he's played linebacker, and he's an animal. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. When we were down there, he was end, and he'd go in and take care of it, anything coming his direction. And if he happened to get back, you know, he'd actually chase us down. He's fairly fast, so he'd chase us down from the backside. So we've got to take care of him to begin with, and then hope that our spread attack, we spread them out and make them defend their own type of offense and see how well, make them play to their abilities too.
Coach, can we touch on, I think, the three injuries that I'm thinking of, Trayson Lutz, Reagan Huffner, Jared Anderson?
As of right now, we have Trayson's still good. He played an exceptional game this last game, and he's really stepped up. Reagan, it's a day-to-day thing. You know, I haven't talked to him today. I'm sure he'll just try to do what he can and everything he can this week, and hopefully he goes. If not, you know, we've had some underclassmen really step up. Riley Taylor has stepped up and played very well in the last game. So, you know, if he makes it back, it's great. If he doesn't, then we'll just do what we have in the past and rely on these younger kids to try to step up again. With Jared, you know, it's a day-to-day thing. More than likely, he's probably not going to be back. So we're going to take it and go that he isn't and prepare that way.
Anything else you want to touch on, Coach?
I just hope everybody comes. You know, it's a heck of a way to end the whole season, to get one more playoff game, you know, and the crowd and that, it just is exceptional when they back us, and we've had some really good wins when there's a lot of people there. So I hope everybody gets out and comes and supports us, because the kids need it. The boys thrive on people being there and helping them. So I just hope that the community continues.
Well, a tip of the cap to you, Coach, to your boys for never giving up, continuing to battle, earning a second seed in a first-round home game. Good luck with Monticello Friday.
Oh, thank you. We've had quite a season, but it's been a learning process, and you know they've learned a lot. So I hope we continue to keep on, and I hope the rest of the time, but at least we'll take it one game at a time and win the last home game, and then move on to the semis.
This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football on KDQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
When it comes to parts and service, don't rely on anyone other than the team at Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. The professional mechanics and parts department team have the experience to help you with whatever you need. When you need to add a winch, get an extra belt or spark plugs, winterize, repair or replace tires, or have a rebuild, they can help. Whatever you need, gift ideas, parts, accessories, or a great mechanic, you'll find it all at Cache Honda Yamaha in between Logan and Smithfield on Highway 91.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Some folks say that life can be measured in seasons. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston, we have vehicles for every season. From new to experienced drivers, we understand that safety, affordability, and great mileage are always on the must-have list. So whether you're just starting out or it's time to expand your fleet, we've got every season covered. Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Stop in today, 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Rich High School and the Rolene Kennedy pregame show, brought to you by Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet and Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm. Rebels and the Buckaroos getting set to face off. We're about 7 minutes away from kickoff. Both teams out on the field, running through some final warm-ups, running some plays offensively to get any kinks worked out. It's quarterfinal time, and let's take a look at the Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown, Mayor Sim Weston, council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White. Rebels and Buckaroos have faced off 26 times since 1991. Their first matchup, the Rebels won 19-7. They went back and forth for a few years. Buckaroos beat the Rebels twice in 2004, including the state championship, and current Buckaroos head coach Reed Anderson was the quarterback, the MVP of that game. 30-15 win for Monticello, their last state championship. Incidentally, that's also the last time that Monticello beat Rich in the playoffs. The Rebels haven't had an 8-game winning streak going against the Buckaroos until September 7th of this year, a 13-7 win for Monticello at Monticello. Rich, overall against the Buckaroos, 17-9, a series lead for the Rebels against Monticello. But again, the Buckaroos won earlier this year, and if you put any stock about or into what the Buckaroos have done in their last couple of games, a 6-point loss against Milford and a 12-point win over Kanab, is a Monticello Buckaroos team that seems to be peaking and coming into it at the right time. That's your Town of Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the Town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Laketown. Time for your Pugstone Sporting Goods green scene. A very nice afternoon here at Rich High School. 57 degrees, the current temperature. There is a bit of a breeze, maybe 8-10 miles per hour coming out of the northwest, and it's a cool breeze, but overall just a few clouds in the sky, sunny skies, and you got to love that, especially this time of year, end of October, to have a day in the upper 50s in Rich County. Count your blessings with that kind of weather. Rebels are in the home blues, white numbers. And the crowd is starting to filter in with no JV game. The crowd coming in just before kickoff time here at Rich High School. Monticello, a few fans over there across the way. The Buckaroos are in the road white top jerseys, black pants, of course the black helmets, and the orange trim with black numbers on the top of the jerseys. Rebels, as I mentioned, the white numbers, blue jerseys, blue pants. And a good game we should have. I think it'll be an interesting contest to see how these teams come out and face off against each other, how this one turns out. The winner will likely face on Milford in the next round of the playoffs. Now, Milford takes on Layton Christian at Milford this afternoon. That's scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. Duchesne and Kanab face off tomorrow at Duchesne, and it's Altamont at Parowan today at 4 o'clock. So winner of this one will face the winner between Milford and Layton Christian, and that will likely be Milford. They beat Layton Christian earlier this year, I think 49-13, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's Rich and Monticello, your green scene, brought to you by Pugstone Sporting Goods. Visit pugstonesporting.com. As we bring you keep an eye on the coin toss, we've got your Zions Bank starting lineups coming up, your Bear Lake Physical Therapy opening kickoff as well. And we'll just kind of let you know how this coin toss goes. We welcome you tuned in on mylocalradio.com. If you're tuned in on live.ksl.com, I'm Ryan Steinekert. And if you're tuned in on KADQ FM in the southern or the northern Utah, southern southwest Wyoming area, we welcome you tuned in there at 98.3 FM as well. Rebel captains are Reagan Huffner, wearing number 56 or 56 today. He may get some time on the offensive line, will not be running routes or carrying the football today, and likely play some defensive end as well. Kason Trineri, number 21, Jaden Nelson, number 50, and Deeds Anderrex, number 62, the 4 senior captains for the Rich Rebels. Jared Anderson, a captain for most of this year as well. This will be his 3rd week not in the lineup with the concussion issues. Happy birthday, Jared Anderson. I understand it's Jared's birthday today, and he's here on the sidelines watching the game and cheering on the Rebels as well, cheering on his teammates and classmates. A little bit of discussion from the officials and with the captains, chat things over. Again, last time these teams met, Monticello had more than 400 yards of offense, the Rebels just over 100, and Monticello a lot of points, or a lot of yards, but not a lot of points. They won the game 13-7. Rebels put together a drive late in the 4th quarter to make it 13-7. Tried an onside kick, and Monticello recovered to essentially end the game. Discussion continues from the Whitecap referee. It's with captains there at center field, or at midfield. We're moments away from getting this game underway. We've got your Epic Recreation keys of the game coming up in just a moment. Have your Zions Bank starting lineups as well. We're going to keep an eye on that coin toss and let you know how that turns out before we go anywhere else. Monticello, the visiting team, so I'm sure they'll call it in the air. Rebels may have used up all their coin toss luck last Friday. We had a 3-way tie in the north for 2nd place between Rich, Altamont, and Layton Christian, and the Rebels won that coin toss and thus get to host today's game. Looks like the Buckaroos won the toss, and they'll defer. Rebels will attack left or right to left, south to north in this first half. Monticello did win. Monticello will receive. We'll take a quick break. We've got the national anthem happening here at the field, or maybe the Pledge of Allegiance. Either way, we'll be right back with the Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, also your Epic Recreation keys of the game on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. We also welcome you tuned in on live.ksl.com.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Meek, and you're tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
Most of our limits we have in life come from the walls in our own mind. The Town Council and citizens of Lake Town, Utah celebrate all students and staff in the Rich School District. Learning and education will help make that wall in your mind shorter, so it is easier to jump over. We encourage every student to reach their full potential through hard work, continued education, and focus.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students, and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
there was something. All right, apologies. We had audio drop there for a second. We got it back. Not sure what it was, but time for your Epic Recreation keys of the game for the Rich Rebels to win today. Number one, have to corral the run. The Rebel defense has allowed 259 rushing yards per game in losses this season, and if Monticello approaches that kind of rushing attack, it'll be tough for Rich to keep up on the scoreboard. And that starts with Weston Nebeker. He's rushed for almost 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns this season. If Rich wants to get this game or keep this game close, they've got to corral the run. Two is Down by the Bay. Monticello might have the most balanced offense in 1A. They pass and run about 50% of the time each, and quarterback Matt Bay is the catalyst for most of their 1,600 passing yards this season. Rebels have got to find a way to get down by the Bay. And the Epic Recreation key of the game, number three, is win the turnover battle. I'll tell you more about that here in just a moment as we are kicking off Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Huffaker gets a foot on it. It's a low-line drive, scooped up at the 15, up to the 25, across the 30, and out to the 35-yard line. A nice return by Carson King. From the 15 all the way out to, looks like they'll spot it out around the 36, a 21-yard kick return. And we are just about to see our first possession. Monticello from their own 36. Third key of the game is win the turnover battle. And I'll get you your Zions Bank starting lineups here in just a moment as well. Also have to line up that scoreboard camera. Stat for the snap to Bay. He'll pitch it out right side, and Nebeker with a little bit of room around the right wing, but he's wrapped up at about the 38. He pushes out to the 39 for a 3-yard gain, and no more. In 7 losses this season, the Rebels are minus 12 in turnover differential. They've given the ball away 12 times more than they've taken it away from opponents. In 2 wins, Rich is a +1, and if you count turnovers on downs, the Rebels are +4 in those 2 wins this season. Now, this is obvious, but whoever scores the most wins, and if you have more chances to score, you might have more scores. Here's the snap, give up the middle, and across the 40, Nebeker goes to the 42-yard line. Another 3-yard gain. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. So for the Rebels to win today, they've got to win the turnover battle. Those are your Epic Recreation keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. For all your rentals, when you visit Bear Lake, go to epicrecreation.net. Find them on Facebook. Bay in the shotgun. Man on his left hip, trips to the left, fakes the handoff to Nebeker, slant over the middle, caught, and a 1st down. Immediate tackle by Hayden Meek at about the 49-yard line. But a 6-yard gain on the pass to Carson King. And Matt Bay starts 1 for 1 and moves the chains. Buckaroos right back in that no huddle. I apologize, I didn't get this scoreboard set up, the scoreboard camera set up earlier. Snap up the, give up the middle. Nebeker, room to run. He started right, went back left, and gets inside the Rebel 40. That'll move the chains. A 2nd time on the drive for Monticello. They'll spot it at the 39, a 10-yard run for Nebeker. He's got 16 yards on 3 carries. 3 in the backfield. Bay with a man on each hip. Buckaroos attacking left to right. Snap and a give up the middle again to Nebeker. This time, Trayson Lutz slices in, dives at Nebeker's feet, and takes him down at the 37. A 2-yard gain for Nebeker. Brings up a 2nd down. And 8. Man in motion is Nebeker. He's a dangerous receiver out of the backfield. No, that's Reed Hedgeland. One-handed catch, and he's pushed out at the 40. That'll be a loss of 3. Good coverage by Kyler Wilson. That was a nice grab by Reed Hedgeland, who last time these teams played had 9 receptions, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His first reception today goes for -3. So a 3rd down and 11. Starting Monticello offense, we'll give you that here in a moment. Starters are brought to you by Zions Bank. Bay calls for the snap, rolls to his left, throws in the flat. He's caught. It's caught by Hedgeland. He makes one-man miss, and then he's hit hard and brought down by Colton Hislop. And a nice gain, but no 1st down. Brings up a 4th and short. They'll spot it at the 31, 32-yard line. That's an 8-yard catch for Hedgeland. Monticello to go for it here. Pistol formation with Bay in the shotgun. Calls for the snap, slapped his hands together, did not snap it. Looking for the Rebels to go offsides. They do not. Shift formation a little bit, and Nebeker on the right side of Bay, still in the shotgun. Calls for it, rolls to his right. He's got Hedgeland, throws, caught at the 30. Down the right sideline, dances inside, but he stepped out at about the 24, and that'll move the chains. Another first down for Monticello. A nice pass, and two receivers go deep. Hedgeland is the inside receiver, and he stays short and just tucks in underneath everybody for the easy pass and catch. They get it to the 23. That was a 9-yard gain. First down and 10 Buckaroos with trips left and a timeout on the field. No, just a quick whistle. They're trying to set the chains. Bay from the shotgun with Nebeker on his left side. Gives to Nebeker, no. Throws for Hedgeland and misfires. First incompletion of the day for Mark Bay. Offensive linemen are Wyatt Fulmer, number 52, 60 Gage Wilcox, 58 Tough Adair, 66 Chance Dieter, and 70 Braxton Atwood. Again, our starting lineups are brought to you by Zions Bank. Matt Bay, a senior wide receiver, number 11. Senior Colton Lewis, number 22. Senior Reed Hedgeland, number 12. And junior, number 23, Carson King. Weston Nebeker is a senior running back, number 13. And quarterback is number 5, Mark Bay. Ball on the right hash. Bay, quick throw out to the flat. Nebeker makes a couple of men miss. He's upfield, and he will score. He dives into the end zone. Did he make it in? Yep, he did. A flag flies down at the 10, and we may have a hold. We'll see if this touchdown gets brought back, as there's that flag down at the 10. But boy, that throw, that quick just toss out into the flat. A lot of yardage there for Weston Nebeker. The Whitecap official, the referee, brings it back. Rebel defensive starters up front, just one returning starter from last year. That's Jaden Nelson, a senior, 62 and a Rex, number 29, Jaden Rao. And looked to see if Riley Taylor is in there. Looks like Reagan Huffner, wearing number 56 today, is the starter defensive end. Linebackers are Stetson Huffer, Trayson Lutz, Colton Hislop, and Jaden Grohl. Cornerbacks, Kyler Wilson, Kason Trineri, free safety, Landon Hunting. Your starting lineups are brought to you by Zions Bank, financial resources, wealth management solutions, mortgage services, and more. So a hold after the catch, and they spot it at the 18-yard line. Second down and 6. Bay takes the snap, gives to Nebeker up the middle, and he'll score. Broke free right up the gut. Rebels missed a couple of tackles, and Nebeker goes 19 yards for the touchdown. And the Buckaroos, 9 plays to go 64 yards and put some points on the board. So Nebeker scores for the 12th time this season, that one from 19 yards out, and he has 37 rushing yards on that opening drive. The Buckaroos to attempt the extra point here. They line up to kick the extra point. And Cedar English to kick. He's a left-footed booter, but a whistle, and they blow it dead before the play starts. So the Buckaroos offense overcomes a holding penalty. Looks like Rich was offsides on that play, so now Monticello calls it an audible, and they'll go for 2.
That put the ball half the distance, so Monticello looks like we'll go for 2.
Buckaroos huddling up, looking to go for 2 here. Since it's that much closer, they'll look to make it 8-0. 8:51 left in the opening quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough, open later on every Rebel home game. The place to eat and drink. 2 in the backfield, pro formation behind Bay. Shouts out to his right. And he's under center, takes the snap, gives right side, Nebeker's in. Lots of space up front, and the 2-point conversion is good. Buckaroos lead 8-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard, and we'll take a quick timeout with 8:51 left in this first quarter. Back right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
If you haven't eaten a famous Crawford Angus burger at the Crawford Trough in Randolph, you haven't lived. It starts with a 1/4 pound Angus beef, pastrami, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and ranch sauce. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. The only thing that makes it better is when you add an order of home-cut fries and a fresh raspberry shake. Heaven. Stop in and enjoy a burger today. The Crawford Trough, open later on every Rich High home game day. 120 South Main, Randolph.
Nine plays, 64 yards, 3 minutes, 9 seconds off the clock. Weston Nebaker. Let's just keep that right about. I think that'll work. Rob Leifson running my camera today, and I spaced in the pregame. Did not get the scoreboard camera all set up where it needed to be. Buckaroos on their first drive. Lead 8-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. They converted a couple of 3rd and longs. Left-footed boot. Kyler Wilson fields it at the 18. Starts left, goes back right, then back left again, and doesn't get much out about the 27. A short return. And Rich will take over 1st and 10 from inside their own 30-yard line. Looks like they'll spot it at the 30. Good field position, or a nice spot. It didn't look like Wilson had gotten that far, but a 12-yard return for Kyler. And Rich starts with 8:43 left in the Crawford Trough first quarter. 8-0 Buckaroos lead on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. Trips to the left, the short side of the field. Huffaker in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to throw. Quick throw out to the left side. Wilson makes the catch, gets out to the 31. Some good blocking by Hunting and Flint Silva out there. Just two guys makes it tough to block 3 defenders, and Wilson with a short gain. They'll spot it at the 31. Kyler Wilson with his first reception of the day. So Huffaker from the shotgun, trips again to the left. One man wide right is Kaysen Trineri. Stetson takes the snap, looks right, pressure comes, and he throws it away. This will be an intentional grounding. They'll say it was a backwards pass, and it rolls all the way out of bounds. Monticello chased it over there. From this angle, there's no question that was a forward pass, but there comes the flag, and we'll have intentional grounding. If Huffaker puts a little more underneath it and throws it downfield, Trineri was in the area, but where Huffaker threw it, there was nobody. So an intentional grounding, and the pressure into the backfield, Rich is going to have to shore that offensive line up a little bit, especially on that right side. Huffaker took the snap, and he was already pressured big time. Timeout on the field, 8:05 left, first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be right back from Rich High School on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
So an intentional grounding is the call. That pushes Rich back to their own 22-yard line for a 3rd down and 18. They need their 40 to move the chains. Monticello already leads 8-0. Huffaker takes the snap, gives up the middle, and right up the gut. Hunting gets across the 25 and picks his way out to about the 27. Still short of the original line of scrimmage. A decent gain, but not for a 3rd and 18. They'll spot this at the 27, so Hunting goes for 8 yards. And for 5 yards, and Rich is faced with a punting situation. Trailing 8-0, and Huffaker gets off a nice boot. Hedgeland fumbles and is picked up by the Rebels. Trineri is on the race to the 30, the 20, 10-5, touchdown, and the Rebels score on a muffed punt. Reed Hedgeland tried to make a good play, or a tough play on a low punt, and fumbled it. Trineri scooped it up, ran 40 yards for the score, and Rich has a chance to tie. Boy, this is reminiscent of when Rich played Kanab, and Huffner pushed a Kanab blocker back into his own punter. It bounced right into the hands of Jaden Nelson, who took it 40 yards. This time it's Kaysen Trineri. The officials are back here discussing at about where Trineri scooped it up. They may say it's a dead ball. Did he say fair catch? It may be that you cannot advance on a fumbled punt. It doesn't make much sense. You can advance on a blocked punt if you... The officials discussing with the Rebels right now. Kaysen Trineri. Now, either way, it'll be Rebel football. So Rich will take over. Unless, was Monticello calling, was Hedgeland calling for a, even if he was calling for a fair catch, it's Rebel football because Hedgeland dropped it. And Trineri scooped it up at the 38-yard line. So it looks like Monticello is set up to play defense. The white cap, the referee says Rebel football. So Rich takes over at the Monticello 38. First quarter, 7:27 left to go in the Crawford Trough first. Huffaker in the shotgun, trips to the left. Huffaker takes the snap, throws over the middle looking for Trineri. A little bit of early contact, and Trineri lets it go through his hands, incomplete. Huffaker 1 of 3 for a yard. So a 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels after that incompletion. Rich mostly tried to run so far today, or mostly tried to pass. They've run 5 offensive plays. We have 2 incompletions, plus the loss of down on the intentional grounding. Rich facing a 2nd and 10. Huffaker takes the snap, pulls it out, keeps it himself, drives forward, breaks 1 tackle, trying to get outside and does. Still on his feet to the 35. Hislop helping keep that alive with a late block before the whistle. And Huffaker gets to the 35 for a gain of 3. Stetson with 24 carries for 29 yards this season, but 2 touchdowns, both of those against Layton Christian. A 3rd down and 7 for the Rebel offense at the Monticello 35-yard line. Rich looking to move the chains. Buckaroos scored on their opening drive. Rebels stalled on a quick 3 and out, but then recovered a fumbled punt. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hunting comes in motion, gets the handoff, trying to break around the outside. Ball squirts out, and it's picked up by Monticello at the 30. A Buckaroo bounce right into the hands of, I think it was Zach Cecil, not sure. No, Matt Bay on the recovery. So teams exchanging turnovers. And Matt Bay, if it was Matt that recovered that, that would be his 4th takeaway. He's caught 3 interceptions coming into this one, and that fumble recovery. Mark Bay in the shotgun, sends a man in motion, turns and gives to Nebeker up the middle, and he's broken free to the 50, barely tripped up by Kaysen Trineri at the Rebel 45. And Monticello's got some big holes right up the gut. Nebeker takes it all the way to the Rebel 44-yard line. A 24-yard run. He's got 61 yards on 6 carries. His last 2 have gone for 19 and 24. He'll get it again up the gut. This time the Rebels stop it. Hislop with the tackle, and Nebeker fights his way forward for a gain of 2 or 3 down to about the 41. 8-0 Buckaroos on top. First quarter brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Open later on every Rebel home game day. 5:50 left first quarter, and Monticello leads. Bay sends Hedgeland in motion, fakes the throw out there for Hedgeland, and goes over the middle for Nebeker, who drops it in and out of his hands on what looked like a screen pass setup. And Bay misses for just the 2nd time today. He's 5 of 7 for 22 yards. And the Buckaroos face a 3rd and 8. Bay steps back into the shotgun. Nebeker on his right side, about 1.5 yards, 2 yards away. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Hislop catches Bay. He throws incomplete, bobbled and dropped. by Stephen Robinson, it looks like. Yeah, that was Robinson. And the pressure by Hislop up the middle forced Bay to get rid of it before he wanted to. That'll bring up a 4th down and 8. And we'll see if the Buckaroos go for it here at the Rebel 41-yard line. Maybe, or I mean, it's early on, first quarter, 5.5 to go, but this is a big 4th down already as far as the outcome of this game will go. Bay from the shotgun, calls for it, looking over the middle, and it's into the hands of Robinson. He catches it clean this time inside the 10 to the 5 before he's brought down. A great throw by Mark Bay. He led Robinson perfectly, and Robinson gets all the way down to the Rebel. Looks like they'll spot it at about the 7. So Robinson, who dropped the pass on the previous pass attempt, catches it this time for a big 1st down. Bay under center this time, pro formation behind him, pitches right side. Nebaker bides his time, then dives toward the end zone, comes up short. Gain of about 4. A Rebel is slow to get up, in some pain. Kyler Wilson not doing well. We're going to take a timeout. 8-0, Buckaroos lead with 5:08 left in the first quarter. You're tuned into Rebel Football on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
If you haven't eaten a famous Crawford Angus burger at the Crawford Trough in Randolph, you haven't lived. It starts with a 1/4-pound Angus beef, pastrami, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and ranch sauce. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. The only thing that makes it better is when you add an order of home-cut fries and a fresh raspberry shake. Heaven. Stop in and enjoy a burger today. The Crawford Trough, open later on every Rich High home game day. 120 South Main, Randolph.
Once you've visited the Bear Lake Valley, you'll want to come back many more times. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can show you ways you can own a piece of the lake. Whether you want a summer home, a lot, a quarter share in a home, or a place to live year-round, Gary McKee is the #1 real estate agent in Bear Lake. Visit with Gary today and learn about all the options you have. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City, Utah. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
The Buckaroos have a 2nd down and goal at about the Rebel 3-yard line. A 4th down and 8. The Buckaroos converted with a pass, 34-yard pass from Bay to Robinson, and on the ensuing play, a pitch to Weston Nebaker. It goes for 4 yards. Rebels' Kyler Wilson stays down, and he's gathered several individuals, including the trainers and parents, gathered around him as he was kicking his legs and rolled over onto his back, but boy, with the folks gathered around him, tough to see anything else that's going on. In the volleyball state tournament action today, Rebels beat Wayne 25-18, 25-17, 25-17. See if we can give you any other scores. Paiute beat Wendover in 3, Intermountain Christian over Water Canyon in 3. Panguitch, no trouble with Green River, a 3-0 win. Panguitch also, I think, just beat Monument Valley to move on to the semifinals. That match was just a few minutes ago. And Monument Valley beat Tabiona in the first match, in the first round, 3-0. It was Valley over Tinnick, Monticello over Escalante. Milford beat Diamond Ranch, and Rich over Wayne. None of the matches in that first round even went into a 4th set. It was all 3-0 sweeps in that first round. Second round action going on now, and the Rebels are about to start their match against Milford. That match coming up in just a few minutes. Wilson's sitting out there on the field. He's up and sitting. Buckaroos scored on their opening drive. Rebels went 3 and out, fumbled it away, or the punt was fumbled, and Rich recovered, Casey Trineri picked it up and ran the 38 yards for the score, but was determined that they could not advance the fumbled punt. So Rich took over 1st and 10 at the Monticello 38. 3 plays later, the Rebels fumbled it away. Matt Bay recovered. Buckaroos got a big run from Weston Nebaker to move the chains, and then it was 4th and 8 a few plays later, and Matt Bay found Stephen Robinson for a 34-yard pass and catch down to the Rebels 7. Wilson helped up onto his feet, and he'll walk mostly on his own, a guy on each side holding an arm, but Wilson walking off to the sideline. I will hope that Kyler's okay. He is walking off on his own power, just a little direction from a couple of, from the principal and then from Kyler's mom. We're about to get back underway in this first quarter. Monticello leading 8-0 and knocking on the door. They did about the same thing last time these teams met, September 7th. They moved the ball up and down the field. They didn't score much, just twice. Pitch left side to Nebaker. He's got a blocker, and he's got the end zone. Touchdown, Weston Nebaker, his 2nd of the day. And the Buckaroos extend the lead. 14, make it 13. No, 14-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Get that back up there for you if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com or on live.ksl.com. Reagan Huffner making his way off the field as well. And you can see he's not running normal as he comes out of the game. Extra point attempt coming up for the Buckaroos. The hold is good. Kick is up. It's a really low line drive, but finds its way through. You Cedar English with the kick, and it's 15-0 Buckaroos on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We'll keep it right here on this little break and bring you the Bear Lake Realty fan cam if you're looking for beachfront or room with a view, secluded mountain retreat, maybe a recreation headquarters, or any number of timeshare options. If you're looking for real estate in the Bear Lake area, visit bearlakerealty.com. Call Gary and Amber McKee at 435-946-8888. That visiting bleachers, that's about as full as I've seen it this season. The Monticello Buckaroo fans across the way. Rebel student section here down to our left. Most of the Rebel fans are scattered in folding or camping chairs across down each of the sidelines. 7 plays, 70 yards. And a minute 32 plus 9 is a minute and 41 seconds on that drive for Monticello. So far, it's been all Buckaroos offensively. The Rebels have, let's see, 9 offensive yards and no first downs. The Buckaroos 5 first downs and, well, 2 touchdowns. Not sure on yardage, but Mark Bay has 56 passing yards. Weston Nebaker 68 rushing yards. Rebels have kept Reed Hedgeland in check. He's got 3 receptions for 14 yards, but Buckaroos getting it done in other areas. A funny-looking punt or kickoff. The Rebels scoop it up at the 30. Landon Hunting breaks 1 tackle, still on his feet, but he stepped out at about the 35. And watching film a little bit with the Rebels this week, we knew that Monticello would not kick it deep. So Landon Hunting filling in, returning kicks for Kyler Wilson, and Rich starts from their own 33-yard line after that short kick return. I formation behind Huffaker. Under center, takes the snap, turns, gives right side, and lowering his shoulders, Hunting goes across the 35 to about the 37. And they'll spot it out close to the 38. So Hunting, 2 carries, 9 yards in the game. Brings up a 2nd down and 6 for the Rebel offense. Ball near the left hash. Rich attacking right to left, trailing 15-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Connor Greer wide left. Rebels 2 receivers right, I formation. And Huffaker turns and gives right up the gut to the fullback. And I think that's Hislop with a short gain. Or did Huffaker keep it himself out to the 39 and a 2-yard gain? To the 39-yard line, Rebels facing a 3rd and 4. See if they can pick up their first comprehensive family dental first down of the game. Kyler Wilson sitting on a bench over here behind the Rebel sideline. Huffaker back into the shotgun, takes the snap, looks, throws over the middle, and Flint Silva is who it looked like it was intended for. He turned and got hit, turned away from the pass, but a flag flew in from the back line judge. I think we'll have a pass interference unless we had one of the Rebels, maybe an illegal screen type situation out as the receivers ran their routes. Looks like they're gonna call a defensive hold. That's a 10-yard penalty. And it's from the spot of the foul, so it's actually a 12-yard penalty. And Rich picks up their first comprehensive Family Dental first down across midfield to the Monticello 49-yard line. Comprehensive Family Dental, providing quality family dentistry since 1998. 3:29 left in the Crawford Trough first quarter. Buckaroos on top by 2 scores, 15-0. Huffaker back, looking to throw down the right side. He's got Meek, who had it, but he dropped it. He had to stop and come back to it, got hit, and the ball stayed right in his cradle, but it did hit the ground, and it's a good call by the officials. You could see that clearly from this angle. So the pass incomplete. Huffaker 1 of 4 for a 1-yard gain. Mark Bay 6 of 9 for 56 yards for Monticello. Colton Meek making his first game playing since he tore his MCL at Parowan about a month ago. 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels at the Buckaroo 49-yard line. Gage Wilcox lined up on the right side. Rebels with a tight end on that right side. Huffaker throws and looking for Colton Hislop in and out of his hands. He would have had a little bit of room to run, especially if he could have broken one tackle, but couldn't make the catch. And Rich will face a 3rd down and 10 from the Buckaroo 49-yard line. Rebels' only first down of this game so far came on a defensive holding penalty. And Rich offense just hasn't found their stride yet in this game. Buckaroos, meanwhile, have. They lead 15-0. 2 touchdown runs by Weston Nebaker, one of 19 yards, one of 3. Huffaker in the shotgun. He's going to tuck it and keep it himself. Right side, not much room. Good defensive coverage as he tucked and wanted to run. Huffaker picks up a couple to the 47. But the Buckaroos, Rebels had 2 receivers running deep. Buckaroos had them covered. And they also had 3 linebackers in shallow. Rich lined up to punt this one away, and the Buckaroos lined up to, Reed Hedgeland at the last second decides to head back. Huffaker bunts it deep, a deep spiral that bounces on the goal line and into the end zone. So Huffaker punts it away, and Monticello will take over from their own 20. First quarter, 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the first, and the Rebels' defense has got to find a way to slow down this Monticello offense. Our starting lineups today were brought to you by Zions Bank, financial resources, wealth management solutions, mortgage services, and more. Keys of the game by Epic Recreation. Rebels, to win this one, have to corral the run. They have not done that yet. Slow down Mark Bay have not done that yet, and win the turnover battle. So far, actually the Rebels have 2 fumbles. Buckaroos have 1. Bay takes the snap, gives to Nebaker left side across the 25, or out to the 25. Rebels will stop him there. And Nebaker picks up 5. He's at 76 yards on 5, make it 10 carries and 2 touchdowns in the game. I said Rich has 2 fumbles. Rich has 1 fumble. Buckaroos have fumbled once as well. 2nd down and 5. 2 in the backfield, 1 receiver wide right, 1 left. Bay from the shotgun, calls for it. Quick throw out for Hedgeland, who lets it go in and out of his hands. Incomplete. Hedgeland came into this game, 69 receptions, 764 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also has 2 rushing touchdowns and has 3 receptions for 14 yards so far in this game. He caught the ball 9 times for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Rebels on September 7th when Buckaroos won 13-7. Bay from the shotgun, rolling to his right, looks underneath. He's got King, caught at the 31 and to the 34 before he's brought down. Carson King with his 2nd reception of the day. The Buckaroos will move the chains out to the 34-yard line.
Monticello first down.
And Monticello, Mark Bay, the senior quarterback, picking the Rebels apart. 65 yards on 7 of 11 passing. Bay from the shotgun sends Hedgeland in motion. They like to throw it out to him in the flat. When he goes in motion, he gets the pass. A block on the outside. Hedgeland down the sideline, and he's hit out of bounds by Landon Hunting. A good block on that outside by, I believe it was Colton Lewis. And that's a key block that the Buckaroos have to get for that to be a successful play. They certainly got it that time. Bay finally, or found Hedgeland, who was finally knocked out at the 48, a 14-yard gain. That matches Hedgeland's receiving yards up to this point in the contest. Trips to the right side, quick throw out to the right. It's caught. Good blocking by the Buckaroos. It's caught, and working his way is Stephen Robinson to about the Rebel 45. He's knocked out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 46. So that's a 6-yard catch for Stephen Robinson, his second reception of the day, 40 yards. Bay with receivers on each side for a second down and 4. Sends Hedgeland in motion out to the left side. Gives to Nebeker up the middle. Lutz dives, can't get the tackle. Nebeker still on his feet, finally drugged down at the Rebel 40. 2 tacklers were there trying to pull him down, and then Trineri finally came in and laid on a hit to put Nebeker on the ground. But a tough run for Weston Nebeker to the Rebel 39-yard line, and that's a 7-yard gain. 83 yards on 11 carries for Nebeker. 85 yards on 9 completions for Mark Bay. Trips to the left side. Nebeker in the backfield. Left side of Bay in the shotgun. Quick throw out to the left, and Hedgeland. Nope, this is not Hedgeland. This is King who makes the catch and picks his way to the inside the Rebel 35 to about the 33. They'll spot it at the 30, a 6-yard gain for Carson King on his second reception of the game. And Mark Bay, 10 of 14 for 91 yards. Great numbers already. Second down and a short 4 for the Buckaroos. Hedgeland in motion to the right side. Give to Nebeker. Up the middle. Starts right. He's hit by Hislop. Breaks, spins away, and then he's hit and brought down about the 23. Nebeker and this Buckaroo offense, boy, they are rolling. A 10-yard gain for Nebeker on the reception. His second reception of the day. That's already 101 yards for Mark Bay, who's missed just 4 passes. 22.6 seconds left in the second quarter, or in the first quarter, and the Rebels will take a timeout. 15-0 Buckaroos with the lead, and they're knocking on the door. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Buckaroos, there's been no shortage of yardage for Monticello. Their offense clicking. Scored on their first drive. They fumbled a punt, but got it right back after Rebels went 3 and out. And the Buckaroos scored on their next drive. This is their 3rd possession of the ball game, and they're knocking on the door. A 1st and 10 at the Rebel 23. Bay throws, and the catch is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Matt Bay. Bay had it in his hands but dropped it at the last second, so it remains 2nd down and 10 at the 22. Pass incomplete there. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the left hash. Bay was open. That was Matt Bay, the intended receiver. Mark Bay, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Rebels showing some pressure, then back off. Bay calls for it, fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. It's caught by Revenson. Ball is loose, and the Rebels are on it in the end zone. should be a touchback for Rich as it rolled back and Rich fell on it right in the front end of the end zone. So the Buckaroos turn it over for a second time today, and Rich should take over from their own 20. Now they may say that Rich recovered it down deep in their own territory, and I admittedly cannot see the end zone line well from here, but it looked like it was in the end zone, and they are going to take it out to the 20. 8.4 seconds left to go in this first quarter, and Rich takes over from their own 20-yard line. So Bay had completed that one for about a 16-yard gain, but it fumbled away, and Rich takes over. Huffaker from the shotgun. Takes the snap, starts right, nowhere to go, and he's brought down in the backfield at about the 19. Not sure if he was hoping something would open up, and it never did, but Rich loses a couple. Rich has a second down and long coming up when we return. It's 15-0 at the end of this first quarter, brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, the place to eat and drink. Open later on every Rebel home game day.
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Well, we welcome you back in if you're tuned in on live.ksl.com, tuned in on mylocalradio.com, and if you're listening on the radio, KDQ FM 98.3 in the Evanston, Wyoming, southeast or northeast Utah, southwest Wyoming area. 15-0 Buckaroos. Their only problem so far has been their inability to hold on to the football. 2 fumbles, but they've moved the football up and down the field at will. 2nd down and 12. Huffaker gives to Hunting up the middle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, dives ahead to about the 19. Maybe 1 yard gain for Hunting, who has 11 carries, or 11 yards on 3 carries, and it's 3rd down and 11. Rich has 1 first down, and that was on a defensive hold penalty. The Rebel offense has not been able to do anything against this Monticello defense. Rebel volleyball trailing 16-5 against Milford. Rebels beat Wayne earlier today. Huffaker from the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Stetson looks deep down the right sideline, and he was looking deep for Hunting, who couldn't get out there. Colton Meek was coming to the inside and looked like he was cutting back out after the pass was released, but it falls incomplete. And Huffaker is 1 of 6 for 1 yard in the ballgame. The 1 reception was Kyler Wilson, and Rich into a punting situation. Stetson, an end-over-end low kick, but it gets over the head of Reed Hedgeland. Takes a Rebel bounce to the 20-yard line, then back to a Monticello bounce at the 21. The Rebels will down it. Colton Meek got down there, and that punt went about 30, maybe 35 yards in the air, and then traveled another 25 yards after the bounce. So Monticello will take over from their own 21-yard line, 22-yard line. Buckaroos, as I've said earlier, have moved the ball up and down the field at will. They fumbled a punt return and fumbled on their last possession of pass reception that they were moving. They were down inside the Rebel 15, but fumbled the ball, and Rebels recovered in their own end zone. Bay from the shotgun. Mark Bay, 12 of 17 for 117 yards already. That was just in the first quarter. Trips to the left, takes the snap, quick throw out to the left side. He's got his man, Matt Hedgeland. Cuts back inside. A flag flies at the 30 as Hedgeland breaks a tackle. Still on his feet out to the 50, but there's a flag clear back about the 29, and this one's coming back. That'll be a hold penalty against the blockers, those wide receivers who block on that wide receiver screen. This one is coming back. Those wide receiver screens, critical are those wide receivers blocking on the outside. Rebels trailing 18-8 against Milford in that set number 1. That's surprising. The Rebels beat Milford at the Richfield tournament once, lost to them a second time, but in that loss, that was the one I was able to see. The Rebels just didn't play very well. So the Buckaroos backed up to their 19. Ends up being just a 2-yard penalty because the hold took place 8 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. First down and 12 for the Buckaroo offense. Bay in the shotgun, two guys back there with him. Hedgeland in motion out to the right flat. Fake give the handoff to Nebeker up the middle. He breaks a tackle across the 25 to the 30, finally wrapped up and brought down at about the 32. And that line judge on the Monticello side says move the chains. That's a first down to the 32-yard line. Nebeker goes for 13 yards and a first down, and he's at 96 rushing yards on 12 carries. Buckaroos no trouble moving the ball, picking up big chunks of yardage. Hedgeland in motion again. Bay looks out toward him and then throws deep down the sideline, and he overthrows Carson King, who was all by himself. The Rebels had bit on the short route for Reed Hedgeland and let King escape, but Bay just overthrew him, and Rich dodges a bullet there. So a second down and 10 for the Buckaroos. Rebels, 5 defensive backs in there. Trips to the right side, give to Nebeker off the left side. He breaks one tackle and he may be gone. One man to beat is Hunting at the 40. Hunting's got a beat on him and brings him down at the Rebel 25. And Nebeker breaks a tackle or two. Trayson Lutz diving at his feet, and we've seen it a few times, just missing those feet. Nebeker with such quick feet, and the Rebels give up that big carry all the way to the 25-yard line. 42, a 43-yard gain for Nebeker, and he's well over 100 yards. 139 yards rushing in this game already, if my math is correct. First down and 10 for the Buckaroos. Quick throw out to the right side. Caught, but the Rebels are on top of it. Kaysen Trineri broke that play up. He got past Stephen Robinson's block and brought Matt Bay down in the backfield at the 36. Make it the 31. My apologies. A loss of 6. Matt Bay's first reception goes for -6 yards. A second and 16 with 2 receivers left, 1 wide right, 2 in the backfield. Hedgeland in motion, and the snap give off the right side and nowhere to go for Brevin Olson. Came in with 21 carries, 119 yards. Late flag flies in right at the line of scrimmage. They give Olson 1 yard, but a penalty flag flies in late. And we'll see what this is. The officials discussing it. 9:17 left, second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. The officials turn as if to march yards off against the Rebels and talk with the Rebels as well. Whitecap official was talking with Rebels captain. A personal foul against Rich. First personal foul of the game. We saw a lot of that last week against Altamont. The Longhorns were whistled for 5 personal foul penalties in the game. That's a 15-yarder. Rebels with 26 yards of penalties on 3 infractions, and gives Monticello a first down at the Rebel 15-yard line. Buckaroos with several first downs on this drive. Move the chains again, leading 15-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Trips left, and Nebeker in the backfield with Bay rolling out to his left, looking, throws for the corner of the end zone, too long. He threw it late. Stephen Robinson made the catch, but he was out of bounds. Tried to get his toes down, but he was too far out. And Bay, with showing good patience as he rolled out to his left, had to hold on to it to allow Robinson to get open. By the time he did, he was too far out of bounds. So a 2nd down and 10 at the Rebel 15-yard line. Ball on the right hash for the Monticello Buckaroos, leading by 2 scores here early in the second quarter. Trips to the left again. Mark Bay in the shotgun with Nebeker on his left hip. Matt Bay, the receiver on the right side. Hedgeland, the inside receiver on the left. Give up the middle to Nebeker, and this time the Rebels bring him down right at the line of scrimmage. Nebeker dives to the 14-yard line for a gain of 1. So a 3rd down and 9. Buckaroos have converted a number of third. They converted a 4th and long for a touchdown earlier. Trips to the left, 1 man right. Bay calls for the snap, rolls to his left, looking. He's got a man wide open and threw it short. Carson King was all by himself in the end zone, and Bay misfired and threw it underneath. And I think I said Robinson. It might have actually been Colton Lewis, who was all by himself in the end zone. And so Monticello faces a 4th and 9, and they'll go for it here with a 1 receiver on the left side. Trips right this time. Bay from the shotgun takes the snap, rolls to his right, still looking, throws, and it's tipped away by Stetson Huffaker. So the Buckaroos really did have 2 good shots at the end zone and just failed. So they'll turn it over on downs. And Rich takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. 8 minutes, 10 seconds left in this second quarter. Rebel volleyball team at state today just lost the first set against Milford, 25-15. Set 2 to start momentarily. Todd and Robin Stacy, thanks for sending those scores to me as well. So Rich trailing 15-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard, looking to find some offense. Huffaker takes the snap and keeps it himself up the middle across the 15, wrapped up and pulled down at about the 18-yard line. So Huffaker will pick up a couple. Wilcox on the tackle. He started on the right side, defensive end. He didn't even go down into a 3-point stance, just up a 2-point stance. Fought through everybody and made that tackle. I'll give Huffaker the 18-yard line. That's a 4-yard gain. 2nd down. 6 yards to go. Huffaker in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to his right, throws over the middle. He's got Hunting across the 20 to the 22. Immediately wrapped up and taken down. And Hunting is close to a 1st down. They'll give him a good spot at the 23 on a 5-yard gain. That's Huffaker's first completion since he found Kyler Wilson for a 1-yard gain on his first attempt. Huffaker 2 of 7 for 6 yards in the game. Rich faces a 3rd down and short. We're in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs, and Buckaroos have not beat the Rebels in the playoffs since 2004 state championship game. The Buckaroos beat the Rebels. Huffaker takes the snap and a bit of a broken play. Hislop needed to get up in front of Huffaker, and Huffaker took a step too quickly. 2 defenders there, and the Rebels get dropped back at the 21-yard line, a loss of 2. So Rich will be forced into a punting situation, a 4th and 3 from their own 21-yard line. And Monticello, with 6:24 left in this second quarter, will have another crack at it. Bad snap. Huffaker gets it, and he's hit hard. Gage Wilcox with the big hit at the 5-yard line. That snap was to Huffaker's left, and he couldn't pick it up, couldn't pull it out of the air. It bounced once. He picked it up and was immediately hit by Wilcox. So Monticello will pick up even closer than where they left off. They'll mark it at the Rebel 7-yard line with 6:15 left in this second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. For all your propane needs, 435-793-4208. 1 man wide to the right. Hedgeland in tight on the right side. Double tight end set. Bay in the under center. Takes the snap. Kind of dropped it, then throws, and looking for Hedgeland, overthrew him, incomplete. It took Bay a little bit to pull that snap out away from his center. Hedgeland was open out there in the back of the end zone, but Bay overthrew it. Bay was 12 of 17, now 13 of 22, 111 yards. Second down and goal from the Rebel 7-yard line. Bay again under center. Nebeker 5 yards back. Turn, give to Nebeker. Starts right up the middle. He goes and he's in. Let's look for the indication. Touchdown. Nebeker with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. That's 147 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns for Weston Nebeker. And the Buckaroos extend their lead 21-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. That drive, just 2 plays to go the 7 yards. In to kick the extra point. Cedar English with the left foot. The Rebels block it. Hayden Meek got in deep in the backfield and blocked that extra point. So the PAT no good, and it's 21-0. Buckaroos lead, second quarter, 5:58 left on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
2 plays, 7 yards. Rebels got a bad snap, and Buckaroos tackled the Rebel punter at the 7, so Monticello had just 7 yards to go. They did it in 2 plays, a 7-yard touchdown run by Weston Nebeker. 17 seconds, the extra point was blocked, and Monticello leads 21-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Cedar English to boot this one away. Buckaroos scored 13 against Rich when these teams played at Monticello on September 7th. A short kick fielded by the Rebels and a quick knee at the 32 by Kyler Jackson, excuse me. Jackson made a nice catch and took a knee. They'll spot it at the 33, a 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Rich has 1 turnover or 1 first down in this game, and again, that came on a defensive holding. Rebel volleyball team lost the first set to Milford this afternoon, 25-15, but lead 7-5 in set number 2. Ball on the left hash. Huffaker looks left, goes back toward his right, looking to run. Steps inside of a defender, and then he's wrapped up at the line, dives forward to the 35. And it's just, it's interesting to watch Huffaker run. It looks like he's covering some ground, but by the time he gets back to the line of scrimmage and dives forward, it's just a 2-yard gain. This Monticello defense, quick to the football, and what looked like maybe a 4 or 5 or 6 yard gain ends up being just 2. Or what could have been a 4 or 5 or 6 yard. Silva and Trineri wide to the right. Colton Meek wide left. 2 in the backfield next to Meek. He'll take the snap and give Hunting. Picks his way back to the line, pushes forward, got near the 36. I think that's where they'll spot it. And Hunting with a short gain. Landon, 4 carries, 12 yards in the game. Brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Rebels at their own 36. Trailing 21-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Buckaroos, somewhere in the ballpark of 250 yards of offense. Rebels somewhere around 25 or 30 yards. Trips to the left, Huffaker in the shotgun. Takes the snap, throws for Trineri, and it's picked off. A block in the back, and wherever this interception return ends, it'll come back. It'll still be a pick. Finally brought down is Matt Bay, at the Rebel 40-yard line. Rebels got a good hit on him, but Trenary was blocked in the back by Reed Hedgeland right after the interception was made. So that interception will count for Matt Bay, his 4th pick of the season, but the return will come back. Rebels with their 2nd turnover of the game. Buckaroos have given it away twice on fumbles as well, so turnover numbers even so far, but the Buckaroos offense has been far more potent. Huffaker's 5th interception of the season. They spotted back to the 29-yard line for a 1st and 10. Second quarter, 4:15 left. And if you're the Rebel defense right now, your goal has got to be to keep the Buckaroos out of the end zone. For a 4th time today here in this first half. 2 receivers right, 1 wide left. Hislop showing pressure. Hedgeland goes out of the backfield to the flat. Throw over the middle. Matt Bay catches across the 50, and he's brought down at the 45. Got a step on the defense and made the catch. Mark Bay with a nice throw. And they'll spot it at the 42-yard line. Timeout, Buckaroos. We'll take a quick timeout as well with 4:07 left to go. Second quarter. Buckaroos up 21-0 on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
First down for the Buckaroos, a 29-yard pass and catch from Mark to brother Matt Bay. And the Buckaroos with 140 passing yards. Weston Ebeker has 147 rushing yards. And nobody else with much more, nothing else on the ground for the Buckaroos, but total those up, they're at almost 300 yards of offense are the Buckaroos, and they lead 21-0, 4:07 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Trips left, Mark Bay takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws left side, got King. Flag flies as we'll bring this one back as well. King continues to break tackles inside the 30, finally wrapped up and brought down. He's fired up for the first down that will be called back. Another hold penalty on that wide receiver screen. This is the second one of the day. And it looks like the flag is down at the 39, so 10 yards from there. We'll put it back at the 49-yard line. That's a 7-yard penalty. Buckaroos, 4 penalties, 31 yards after this hold. And Colton Lewis, the senior, with his hands out to his sides. So I don't know what happened. Repeat first down, and it'll be a 1st and 17 for the Buckaroos. Mark Bay started 12 of 17 for 117 yards. He's completed just a couple of his last 6 or 7 attempts, but he's still 14 of 23 for 140. In the shotgun, trips right, 1 receiver left. Rebels bringing some pressure up the middle. Buckaroos line handles it. Bay still rolling, throws incomplete, and he takes a shot by Riley Taylor after the throw. Good timing by Taylor to get there and deliver the hit. Bay throws it away, and he had a receiver in the area, so a good throw away for the incompletion. Brings up a 2nd and 17. From the Rebel 49-yard line, Buckaroos on top 21-0 in this quarterfinal action. Rebels had an 8-game winning streak going against Monticello before a 13-7 loss earlier this year at the Buckaroos home field. And Rich has not lost to Monticello in the playoffs since a 2004 state championship for Monticello. They beat Rich in the title game, 30-15. Bay, quick throw out to the right. He's got Hedgeland caught at the 35, or to the 40, down to the 35. He's finally wrapped up and brought down near first down territory. Tackle by Landon Hunting, and they'll spot it right about the 35 or 36-yard line. Looks like they spotted on the 35, 14 yards. Hedgeland, a second 14-yard reception of the days at 42 yards on 5 receptions. Bay from the shotgun. Buckaroos need 3 to move the chains on a 3rd and 3. Quick throw out to Hedgeland left side, and he is wrapped up and brought down. This time, Colton Lewis avoiding the hold, and Landon Hunting gets through to wrap up Hedgeland for no gain. He actually lost a yard to the 36. And the Buckaroos line up to go for it. Ball on the middle of the field between the hash marks. Offset eye in the backfield. Bay with a hard count. You can hear Rebel coaches shouting, guys, watch the ball. Don't jump, don't jump. Bay looking over to the sideline. What do you want me to do now? With 2:18, Coach Reed Anderson will call a timeout. 4th down and 4, and we'll keep it right here. Rebels last week, I think the Buckaroos got the Kanab Cowboys to jump off sides a bunch of times. And so Rich, aware of that happening, has been solid in not jumping off. Rebel volleyball team losing 20-11 against the Milford Tigers. In the second set, they lost the first set 25-15. Buckaroos quickly up to the line, and another timeout for Monticello. That previous play, they must not have taken a timeout. 2:08 left to go in the second quarter. Monticello leads 21-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. I'll invite you to stay tuned for our halftime show, brought to you by T-Bar S Body Shop. Let T-Bar fix your car. And we'll talk with our standout student, Taylor McKinnon, a senior manager of the volleyball team. We'll also touch on, have some first half highlights brought to you by Rich County, Rebels with a championship cause. Make sure to tune in next week here to mylocalradio.com. The football semifinals taking place, and it'll be the winner of this one against the winner between Milford and Layton Christian. Parowan and Altamont. Well, the winner of that one will take on the winner between Duchesne and Kanab. And you can watch those games live right here on mylocalradio.com next week, November 3rd. They haven't quite picked locations for those games, as if they've got 2 southern teams, they'll pick a southern location, 2 northern teams, a northern location, and if it's mixed, then they'll have a neutral spot in Utah Valley. 4th down and 4. Bay under center, takes the snap, turn, give to Nebaker. He's upfield, got the first down inside the Rebel 30, and a little bit more. They'll spot him down at the 29-yard line. He needed 4, he picked up 7. I'm just wondering why they don't just give it to Nebaker. Give it to Nebaker. 16 carries, 154 yards. He's got a first down almost every time he touches the football, averaging 9+ yards per carry. 3 receivers left, 1 right on a 1st and 10. Bay from the shotgun, calls for it. Rebels trying to show pressure. They can't get anybody through. Bay throws, and it's trapped. Hedgeland thought he caught it. It looked to me like it hit the turf, and the line judge says the same. Incomplete. So that pass incomplete, 153. Let's see, 16 of 27 was what I've got, Rhett. 2nd down and 10 for the Buckaroos. 2 in the backfield. Hedgeland in motion toward the right. Bay looks over there. Pressure comes. Now he fires underneath, and he's got his man. Flag flies in as Lutz makes the tackle on Matt Bay. And Bay initially starts to get up, then grabs his back and falls back to his backside. Now he gets up, and he's going to limp off to the sideline. But we may have a hold penalty at the line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line. We'll see what the penalty is. Illegal man downfield. My PA man saw it. That's another 5-yard penalty against the Buckaroos. Push them back to the 34. Negate that gain of about 10. It would have been actually more like a 6-yard gain. So a 2nd down and 14 for the Buckaroo offense with 1:31 left in this first half. Rich will get it to start the second half, but their offense has got to make some adjustments. The Rebel defense really looking to keep the Buckaroos off the scoreboard one more time. It's already 21-0. Bay fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. He's got Stephen Robinson at the 22. Quick tackle by Hayden Meek. Robinson spotted down at the 22-yard line, a 12-yard gain. Robinson with 68 receiving yards in the game. And it's a 3rd down and 3 for the Buckaroo offense. They haven't had much trouble converting on 3rd downs today. Rebels showing some pressure again up the middle. They can't get there. Robinson makes the catch, breaks a tackle at the 20, dives inside the 10. He was tripped up by Hayden Meek and got down to about the 9-yard line, and the Buckaroos move the chains again. Another 13 yards for Stephen Robinson, who has 81 receiving yards in the game. And Mark Bay, 18 of 29 for 178 yards already. Trips to the right side. Bay rolling to his right. He's got Hedgeland. The catch is made at the 8. Breaks one tackle, still on his feet, but he's wrapped up and driven back to the 5. They'll spot him down at about the 2. A 7-yard gain. That was a 7-yard pass and catch. Down to 13, 12 seconds. Bay rolling to his left, and Hedgeland makes the catch. Meek was screened by, by Colton Lewis, and there wasn't contact. That was a smart play by Lewis. He didn't make contact, but the screen was there, and Meek couldn't stay in coverage on Reed Hedgeland because of the scheme of that play. So Hedgeland catches his first touchdown catch of the day. 8 receptions, 50 yards, and the Buckaroos lead 27-0. English to kick the extra point. The Rebels block it again. So 27-0 is your score on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. That's 2 consecutive extra points blocked by the Rebels. That was a 12-play, 71-yard drive that took up almost 4.5 minutes. So let's see, we're down to 7.5 seconds left. So that was a 4-minute and 8-second drive. Rebel volleyball team, 25-19 loss in set number 2 against Milford. So the Tigers lead the Rebels 2-0. 25-19, is that what you said? Buckaroos will kick, leading 27-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Hedgeland had 2 receiving touchdowns the last time these teams met. English kicks it. Rebels let it squirt through, but then fall back on it. That was James McKinnon with the recovery on what looked like an onside kick attempt. Rich will take over from their own 46-yard line, but with just 3.7 seconds left in the first half. Don't tell the Buckaroo coaches here, but wouldn't be surprised to see a hook and lateral attempt. Rebels trying to get something on the scoreboard. We'll see if they continue to try or just take a knee. Looks like they're in a take a knee formation. Huffaker under center. Takes the snap and does drop to a knee. So Rich will get it to start the second half. At the end of the first, it's all Monticello, 27-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. This second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. For all your propane needs, call 435-793-4208.
This is Rich Rebel senior Jade Nelson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
If you've dreamed of owning your own beachfront property at beautiful Bear Lake, but think you can't afford it, think again, because you can. It's an investment you can rent that pays for itself, and you can enjoy it too. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can help make your dream come true. Visit with Gary today, because you'll never know unless you ask. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need: boats, sea-doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Welcome back to the half. The Rebel drill team performing. Finished 5th at state last year and won a region title. The Buckaroos, a 27-0 lead at the half. Our halftime show is brought to you by T-Bar Body Shop. Let T-Bar fix your car. Buckaroos with a lot of offense. The Rebels with very little. We'll tell you some details on that when we return on the T-Bar Body Shop of Evanston halftime show. Coming up right after this on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
I think another good name for Matt Rex, the owner of T-Bar Body Shop in Evanston, would be the Anger Eraser. I came out to the parking lot to find a ding and scratch. I was so angry, I went to T-Bar Body Shop to get a quote and met Matt Rex. He said they would fix it, and he'd even talk to my insurance company. When I picked up my car, it looked great. No stress, no hassle. Matt's friendliness and quality service erased all my anger. When your car gets bunged up, don't get angry. Just let T-Bar fix your car.
Dr. Dog, the other day I was at the dog park and ran into Keegan, the Irish setter from up the road. When we smelled hello, I was surprised because he smelled like delicious roasted duck. When I asked if he'd been hunting, he said nein, he had been to see you.
Yes, Mr. Hans German Shepherd, I'm recommending Canine Superfood Advanced from PetMinerals.com for all my canine patients. The powder mixes with your dog food to create a delicious duck-flavored gravy. Order your Superfood Advanced from PetMinerals.com today.
Old cheer squad performing here at the half, where Monticello leads 27-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. It was all Buckaroos in that first half, at least on the as far as offensive production goes. So we'll tell you more about that. Time for your T-Bar's Body Shop halftime show. Let T-Bar fix your car. Our halftime stats and highlights are presented by Rich County. Rebels with a championship cause. We thank all of our sponsors, including Rich County. And the Buckaroos moved up and down the field. Their worst, the only thing that stopped them was themselves. They fumbled the ball on a kick, on a punt return once, and then they were down inside the Rebel 20-yard line. A pass complete from Bay to, I think it was King, and after the catch was made, he fumbled that one away into the Rebel end zone, and Rich recovered that. But those are the only ways that Monticello stopped themselves. They did have one turnover on downs at the Rebel 14-yard line, but other than that, on 5 possessions that Monticello has had, they've scored on 4 of those. Weston Nebaker, 3 touchdown runs, one of 19, another of 3, another of 7. Mark Bay, 20 of 31 for 187 yards and a touchdown through the air with no interceptions. He started just incredibly well, 11 of 15 for 101. Went on a bit of a slump for about 7 or 8 passes. He only completed a couple, but boy, he's had a great day so far, and the Monticello offense is rolling, leading 27-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. Again, some first half highlights. The Rebels able to recover that punt that was fumbled. Cason Trineri, I believe, had 2 fumble recoveries as he recovered that fumbled punt, and then the fumble later on in the first half. Monticello was down at the Rebel 23-yard line and forced fumble that I think Trineri recovered in the end zone as well. Rebels, not much going offensively. 6 passing yards. Stetson Huffaker, 2 of 8 for 6 yards and an interception. Rebels just 19 yards on the ground. Landon Hunting with 4 carries for 12 yards. Huffaker, 6 carries, 7 yards. Rich with 25 yards of offense. Monticello at almost 14 times that. They've got 342 yards of offense, 187 through the air, 155 on the ground. 154 of those ground yards are Weston Nebaker. 16 carries, 154 yards, and that's some easy math. That's almost 10 yards per carry with 3 touchdowns on the day. And the Buckaroos, who didn't do much more offensively. I mean, they did do more offensively at Monticello. They just didn't punch it in on the opportunities they had about a month and a half ago. Here today at Rich, they're taking advantage of those chances in the red zone, and they lead 27-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. State volleyball, the Rebels beat Wayne this morning and are losing to Milford 25-15, 25-19 in sets 1 and 2. Set 3 in progress as we speak. These first half highlights have been brought to you by Rich County, Rebels with a championship cause. Stay tuned. We'll return on the T-Bars Body Shop of Evanston halftime show with your standout student, brought to you by the town of Woodruff on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
I think another good name for Matt Rex, the owner of T-Bars Body Shop in Evanston, would be the Anger Eraser. I came out to the parking lot to find a ding and scratch. I was so angry, I went to T-Bars Body Shop to get a quote and met Matt Rex. He said they would fix it, and he'd even talk to my insurance company. When I picked up my car, it looked great. No stress, no hassle. Matt's friendliness and quality service erased all my anger. When your car gets bunged up, don't get angry. Just let T-Bar fix your car. Ever since 1871, when Joseph C. Rich surveyed the town site, the town of Woodruff has been a thriving ranching community. Settlers were attracted by the broad valley and green grasses, the mountain trout in the streams, the elk and deer herds in abundance, and the neighbors were friendly. That's how people still are today. Visit Woodruff, and you too will experience that friendliness. It's everywhere. It's the town of Woodruff, Utah, where we're proud of our rich rebels.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Ryan Steinekert at Rich High School with Taylor McKinnon, a senior, Rich Rebel. And Taylor, thanks for your time today.
You're welcome.
What are you involved with at Rich?
I'm a volleyball manager. I play basketball and I do track and field. I'm also involved in the musical and I do college classes and stuff.
That sounds like a lot.
Yep, it is. Busy schedule.
You like staying busy?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes it's stressful, but most of the time I just like staying busy.
Let's talk a little bit first about your senior year. How are things going, like, academically? You don't have to tell me how your grades are, but how are things going?
Pretty good. I'm doing well in my classes, I guess. Yeah.
Did you say college classes, or are you getting an associate's degree?
Yes, I am.
Does that make things a lot tougher?
I actually think college classes are way easier than high school classes. I usually have less work, and I could just procrastinate more.
Don't let your professors know that that's how things are going for you.
Oh, no, never.
Taylor, so you'll have an associate's degree, and then what after Rich High School?
I'm going to go to UVU, and I'm planning on becoming a English teacher, secondary education.
What draws you or what interests you about doing that?
I don't know. I've just always really liked English. At first, I wanted to be a history teacher, but then I decided I like English more, and it's just easier, I guess.
English, like do you love writing, or what is it about being an English teacher that really pulls you in?
I really liked writing. I used to want to be an author, but then I decided I didn't have enough skill to do that. So figured the second best thing was to be a English teacher.
So, Taylor, you mentioned basketball. You mentioned the musical. Is it going to be Footloose, or do you know for sure?
It's going to be Footloose, yeah.
Are you hoping for a certain role in that show?
I've never really seen Footloose, but I'm hoping to get the lead role. I don't know.
You're going to have to watch Footloose before tryouts or before the audition.
Oh, yeah. I'm planning on watching it this weekend at State, but...
You mentioned this week at State, so let's talk about volleyball. What got you into managing for the volleyball team?
I didn't really manage in middle school or anything, but I took Coach Stewart's class my freshman year, and one day she just came up to me and was like, do you want to be a manager? And she's kind of an intimidating lady, so I said yes.
When Coach says, will you do this, you do it.
Yeah, always.
Did you play volleyball like in middle school or growing up?
No, not really. I wasn't very involved in middle school. I was too scared to go try out for sports, but now I do a lot of them, so I guess I should have started earlier.
Do you enjoy being the manager?
I do enjoy being a manager. It's really fun, and I like hanging out with all the girls.
Tell me your responsibilities.
I take stats, I put them into the computer, and they have this Max Preps thing that everyone across the state is able to check out, and I put it in there and stuff. And then other than that, I just take care of the girls' stuff. I wrap hands sometimes, and yeah.
Have you seen improvement from the team?
Definitely. I've seen we work a lot better as a team. Like last year, it's hard because everyone who played on varsity for like the last 3-4 years have been the seniors last year because they had such a big class. But now since we had such little numbers, they were all playing JV, and now they have to figure out how to work that better into the varsity standing.
Taylor, anything else about the volleyball team we should touch on?
Nothing. The girls really all enjoy the game, and we really love each other, and we try to work hard.
So, Taylor, let's get back to your senior year. Do you have academic goals for yourself this year?
I'm trying to get good grades. I'm doing good in pretty much all my classes, and yeah, other than that, not really.
Do you have any hobbies, like play any instruments or do anything at home outside of, the playing sports and track and field, musical, anything at home that you are interested in?
Not really. I like to read. I read a lot, but other than that, I don't really have too much free time to try to follow other things.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm not reading anything. I just finished my last book, and yeah, that was it.
So could you name like a favorite book or a top 3 or something like that for me?
I really like the Harry Potter series, but I'm pretty sure everyone does. I've liked, what are some other books I've read? I like the series of Unfortunate Events and just basically everything. I've been reading lots of philosophy books recently, but it's kind of confusing sometimes.
Gotcha. All right. So how much are you looking forward to basketball?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really out of shape. I probably should go start warming up for that, but I haven't yet, mostly because I've been busy with volleyball stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm hoping we'll have a good season. You
think the team will be pretty good?
I'm hopefully optimistic.
We'll have to see once practice gets started and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of the girls, like last year, are coming on from JV, and hopefully we'll be able to work well in varsity as well.
Taylor, anything else we should know about you?
Not really. I think I'm a pretty average Joe for high school.
Can I ask what you do in track and field? What events?
I do discus and the 200 medley and the 200 open.
And do you have goals or expectations for this spring, what you want to do, like compete for a state title, anything like that?
Last year I got 6th in discus, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get higher than that. I've been working, and I have a discus at home, so I guess that could be a hobby that I've been working with. And then the medley, we got 3rd last year, and I'm hoping we'll be able to be a little bit faster and work more as a team this year and be able to get higher standing.
What do you like best? What's your favorite thing about being a Rich Rebel?
I really like the cheering section at games. Even though I have to sit on the bench most of the time, everyone seems to have so much fun, and I'm kind of sad I don't get to join them a lot.
For volleyball, you're managing. For basketball, you're with the team, so you don't get to join in the cheering.
Yeah, definitely. But I love watching them, and it makes me happy when they are really loud, and I go cheer on the bench with them because, yeah.
Taylor McKinnon, a senior at Rich High School, thanks so much for your time, and good luck to the volleyball team at State this week, and good luck to you in your senior year.
Thank you.
Most of our limits we have in life come from the walls in our own mind. The Town Council and citizens of Lake Town, Utah celebrate all students and staff in the Rich School District. Learning and education will help make that wall in your mind shorter, so it is easier to jump over. We encourage every student to reach their full potential through hard work, continued education, and focus.
Go Rich Rebels!
When you hit the bullseye playing darts, it's a great thing. When a rock hits your windshield and creates a bullseye, it's a bad thing. A small bullseye in your windshield can grow into a monster crack that covers the whole window. T-Bar S Body Shop in Evanston fixes rock chips. If the rock chip in your windshield has already grown into a giant crack, T-Bar S Body Shop can fix that too. When it comes to window repair or replacement, make sure you always hit the bullseye. Let T-Bar fix your car. Call us today, 789-2639.
27-0 at the half. Our halftime show is brought to you by T-Bar's Body Shop. T-Bar's Body Shop of Evanston. Let T-Bar fix your car. Our standout student was presented by the town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Sabey, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson with clerk Lisa Bell. The Buckaroos in that first half, I had them with 342 yards of offense. I had Rich with just 25 yards, 6 yards through the air, 19 on the ground. And the Buckaroos, a couple of turnovers, one on a fumbled punt return that Casey Trineri recovered, a fumble later on a pass reception. But Rich has not been able to take advantage of those forced turnovers, those takeaways. Rebel volleyball today at State beat Wayne in 3 and is down 0-2 against Milford. But in set number 3, the Rebels are ahead 18-16. It's a do-or-die set for the Rich Rebels, 19-16, the most updated score in set 3. And Rich has not lost in the semifinals of volley, or in the quarterfinals of volleyball, for maybe 30-plus years. So Milford looking to make some recent history. Rebels will return, or will receive to start this second half, needing to find some offense. Mackenzie Smith, a Rebel freshman, serving, well, not serving right now, but part of that Rebel volleyball team. Happy birthday to Mackenzie. Also a happy birthday to Jared Anderson today. Anderson, the quarterback for this Rich Rebels team through the first 6 games of the season, but he's got a concussion against, what was that? Was that against Duchesne? Has not played since. Stetson Huffaker got the start against Layton Christian last week against Altamont, and here today against Monticello. Buckaroos lined up to kick this one away, leading 27-0. You've been tuned into the halftime show brought to you by TRS Body Shop of Evanston. English boots this one a little deeper. Hunting fields it at the 20. Up the left sideline, starts right, goes back left, and finds a little crease out near the 40. Hunting with a good return, and the Rebels with decent field position. Kyler Wilson was injured earlier today, is in Evanston getting x-rays, and we wish him the best. Landon Hunting with a 19-yard kick return, and Rich with decent field position from their own 39-yard line to start this third quarter. Brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from Mayor Lynn Weston, board member Simbel, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and clerk Lana Peart. Trips to the right side. Huffaker back looking to throw. Lobs it out to Hunting, who stops, throws it deep for Trineri. Kaysen comes back and can't quite make the catch. Defense read that well. Good defensive coverage by Matt Bay. He was not fooled by that trickery from the Rebels, and Bay stayed back in defense. So Landon Hunting's pass falls incomplete. Rebels got good pass protection. That was the best pass protection we've seen today, without question. Huffaker's dropped back to pass a few times already today, and those of all, he's never had time. In fact, the first time he dropped back to pass, or the second time he dropped back to pass, he had no time, had to throw it away, and got called for intentional grounding. From the shotgun pistol, Huffaker pitches out to the right. He's got his man, Hislop, cuts upfield. Ball pops out as he's tackled at the 42, 43-yard line. And did Hislop get it back? Boy, it looked like the Buckaroos had pulled it in, but Hislop able to reach out and pull it back at the 44. Hislop's first carry of the day, 5 carries, or 1 carry for 5 yards. He came in averaging 2 yards per carry. The Rebels have not run the ball much, nor have they run it effectively this season, just 60 rushing yards per game, and most of those yards have come from the quarterbacks. Anderson, 340 rushing yards, and Huffaker with close to 30, and this is his third start. He's above 30 rushing yards. 3rd down and 4. Huffaker takes the snap, gives to Hislop, man in the backfield, nowhere to go, and Hislop is shut down. Wyatt Fulmer with deep penetration into the backfield, and Hislop, as soon as he took that handoff, was ripped to the ground. A loss of 4 No, a loss of 3 to the 41-yard line. Rich, no first down, and Huffaker lined up to punt this one away. Gets a good snap this time. Boots a high, wounded duck. Hedgeland catches it on a run, and he may go the distance to 40, to the 30, down the sideline. Huffaker pushes him out at about the 20. Hedgeland read that one well. He fumbled one earlier, let one go over his head earlier as well, but this time with an incredible punt return. Caught that at about the 30 and took it all the way to the Rebel 23-yard line. Third quarter, 10 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the third. And Hedgeland, about a 50-yard punt return. Bay from the shotgun. Nebeker on his left hip. Give to Weston, and he's got a big hole left side. Starts left, goes back right. He's in. Touchdown. A 23-yard run. Cuts against the grain and goes the distance. 23-yard touchdown run for Weston Nebeker. His 4th touchdown of the day and his 15th touchdown of the season. That one for 23 yards and a score puts him at 177 rushing yards in the game. One play, 23 yards after a very long punt return. And the Buckaroos needed just 8 seconds to score on that possession. Last 2 point after touchdown attempts have been blocked. This time it's booted high and through. Rebels took the third set against Milford 25-20 to stay alive against Milford in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. The extra point is good, and the Buckaroos make it 34-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Third quarter action on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
34-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Reed Hedgeland with a big punt return down to the Rebel 23. Weston Nebeker did the rest. Buckaroos take 8 seconds to go one play, 23 yards. And they line up to kick it away to the Rebels. English boots it short, bounces at the 25, gets past Hunting, who goes back, picks it up at the 15, and he's immediately surrounded and brought down by a herd of Buckaroos, and Rich will start deep in their own territory. And they'll start at their own 18. Third quarter, 9:50 left to go. Get the Stacy's Repair scoreboard back up there for you if you're tuned in online at mylocalradio.com or on live.ksl.com. Trineri wide to the right side. 2 receivers left. Hislop in the backfield. Tight end on the right for Rich. Huffaker back looking to throw. He finds Trineri. No, early contact on the pass. Hedgeland got in there and knocked the ball out. Incomplete. Huffaker has not been able to get things going. The Rebel, I shouldn't say just Huffaker, but the Rebel passing game, the Rebel offensively, they've just not been able to get things going. Huffaker 2 of 9 for 6 yards, 1 pick. Rushing game, the Rebels have 19 yards, 12 from Hunting, 7 from Huffaker. Rebels first to make it second possession of this second half. Huffaker takes a low snap, throws out to his right. Rich trying the hook and lateral, and again in and out of the hands of Trineri as the contact came. Good defense by Reed Hedgeland. Brings up a 3rd down and 3. Make it 3rd down and 10. I don't know where I got that 3. Third quarter, Rich trails 34-0. Rich from their own 18-yard line, ball in the left hash. Colton Meek wide left side, 2 receivers right, and now Meek switches sides over to the right. And Rich is forced to take a timeout to avoid a delay of game and figure out exactly what they want to do with this play. Buckaroos on top 34-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. They're looking ahead now to probably facing Milford next week. We'll see how that goes. We'll give you a playoff picture in just a bit when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Sometimes when you're shopping for a vehicle, you're not sure what you want, so you drop by and look at all the options. Other times you know exactly what you want. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, you can call us or schedule a test drive online. We'll have it ready when you get here. We're here to help you get exactly what you want on your schedule. So whether you want to browse or pre-schedule a test drive, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet is here for you. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Rebels on a 3rd and 10, give to Hislop, left side. He gains a little chunk of yardage out near the 22, maybe the 23. 5 yards, but that'll not be nearly enough for a first down, and Rich will line up to punt it away again. Hislop with 3 carries, 7 yards here in this second half. Huffaker gets a good snap and boots this one away. A high, wobbly spiral off to the right. Hedgeland will let it bounce, and Jaden Grohl chases it down to about the 37 of Monticello. That's where they'll take over. They'll spot that at the 39, third down, or third quarter, 9:08. Rebels, that possession lasted less than a minute. 2 incompletions and a short, well, a 5-yard run. And Rich, or Monticello takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. They've had no trouble moving the football. Their last possession, 1 play, 23 yards and a touchdown for Weston Nebaker. Bay from the shotgun, trips right. Rebels showing some pressure, and the give up the middle. Oliver's hit hard, ball pops out, but the Buckaroos fall on it about the 41. A short gain. Brevin Olson on the carry. Rich with a strong start in the volleyball match, 4th set. They trailed 2-1 against Milford, but a 5-0 start to set number 4. That ball recovered at the 41-yard line. Nebaker out of the field, and Brevin Olson trips to the right again. Bay takes the snap, gives again to Olson, up the middle, nowhere to go, gets back to the line, maybe a half a yard beyond, and that's it. A 3rd down and 8 for the Buckaroos. Again, trips to the right, and 1 receiver left. Olson in the backfield with Mark Bay in the shotgun. Bay rolls to his left, looking to throw. He throws underneath, caught Hedgeland, and he's driven out of bounds, short of the first down marker. They'll say he was down before he went out at the 47, 2 yards shy of the first down. But there's also a flag down back at the 38-yard line, and I think, did they say holding against the Buckaroos is what I thought I saw. The hold took place about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it would be a 3rd down and 22 if the Rebels accept the penalty. And Rich will do that. That's essentially about a 20-yard penalty because of what the gain had been. 6 penalties, 50 yards for the Buckaroos by my stats. Trips to the right, or trips to the left, ball on the right hash as the Buckaroos line up for a 3rd down from their own 26-yard line. Bay over the middle, got his man, immediately hit by Landon Hunting. Catch by Stephen Robinson. But Hunting with good coverage to the 36-yard line. 10-yard reception. And the Buckaroos face a 4th down. Mark Bay, 22 of 33 for 202 yards in the game with a touchdown. And the Buckaroos lined up to punt for, this is really the first time today? Cedar English to boot this one away. Landon Hunting back deep. A high snap. English tips it to himself with one hand. Doesn't get off a great punt, but he gets it off, and that's what mattered. Takes a Monticello, or a sideways bounce to the Monticello sideline. and it ends up being about a 20-yard punt, but considering that snap, that's a pretty good play by Cedar English. And Rich will take over 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line with 6:52 left to go in the third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from Mayor Lynn Weston and board members Sim Bell, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and clerk Lana Peart. 10-4, Rebels lead in set 4 against the Milford Tigers in the 1A volleyball state tournament. Rebels trailing 2-1. Milford looking to close it out. Rebels line up with 2 receivers right, 1 left. Huffaker takes the snap, steps right, looks back left, hesitating. That was a quarterback keeper all the way, and Huffaker, maybe just reading the pressure coming in, decided his best option was to try and find some space and run with it. He loses a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11. Second and 11, Rebels on the right hash. Rebel offense has not done much today. 25 rushing yards, 6 passing yards. And this Buckaroo defense, boy, they've been tough. That you can't question that. Buckaroos have shut down this Rebel offense. Huffaker with a man on each hip, takes the snap, runs to his right, looking for space and doesn't find it. Buckaroos in the backfield, including Weston Nebaker, Gage Wilcox, and others. Rebels are stuffed. Huffaker loses 3 to the 43-yard line. Stetson with 8 carries for 3 yards in the game, and it's 3rd down and 15. Make it 14 for the Rebel offense. Buckaroos lead 34-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard midway through the third quarter. Huffaker calls for the snap, takes it, throws deep down the right sideline. Trenary has a step on his defense, and he just can't create separation. Some hand fighting between Hedgeland and Trenary, and Kaysen just couldn't get that separation he needed. Couldn't quite get out far enough to the football. It falls incomplete. And Huffaker now 2 of 11 for 6 yards. Brings up a 4th down and 14, and Rich will almost certainly punt this one away. Reed Hedgeland has been a dangerous punt returner. Had about a 50-yard punt return that set up the Buckaroos' last score. Huffaker gets off a nice high line drive, bounces at the 10, rolls down to the 1 and into the end zone for the touchback. If that one had a little more air underneath it, maybe the Rebels could have covered it down inside the 5, but Buckaroos will take over from their own 20-yard line. Third quarter, 5:16 left to go in this third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Now the winner of this one will face the winner between Milford and Layton Christian. That game scheduled to start in about 13 minutes. And then on the other side of the bracket, Duchesne and Kanab play tomorrow at 3. Parowan and Altamont play today also at 4 o'clock. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Bay in the shotgun. Looks like Nebaker back in there as the running back. Bay calls for the snap. It's thrown, and right side on the hash, the catch by Carson King at the 26-yard line. King with his 4th reception, 27 yards. Bay 23 of 34 for 208 yards by my stats. That's unofficial, but pretty close. Trips out to the left side. Bay in the shotgun. Ball on the right hash. Calls for it. Rebels showing pressure up the middle. Bay throws. He's got King. Breaks 1 tackle at the 25, and then he's upended. Good tackle at the knees by Kaysen Trenary. King gets out to about the 27, maybe just a yard on that play. They'll spot it closer to the 28, so we'll give him 2. Bay with 210 passing yards. A 3rd down and short. Nebaker with 17 carries, 177 yards, and 4 touchdowns in the game. We'll see if they go back to Weston. Bay under center. Everybody in the box. 9 men in the box for the Rebels, and Bay keeps it himself, trying to push up the middle. Rebels stop him. He was pushed back and spun down to the ground at about the 27. And, yeah, he'll actually lose a half a yard. Bay, his strength has not been running the football this season. 34 carries for minus 38 yards on the year. And that brings up a 4th down and 2. And Coach Reed Anderson says, we're not punting this one away. Leading 34-0. Seeing what his offense has been doing. Gage Wilcox in the backfield. Bay with a hard count. Turns, gives to Nebeker. Right side. He's got the first down across the 30-35 and to the 36-yard line. He needed 2, and he gets 9. 186 yards rushing for Nebeker on the day by my count. First down for the Buckaroos. They move the chains. They scored earlier on a 4th and 8. And move the chains here. Bay from the shotgun takes the snap, gives Brevin Olson, finds some room, tripped up, slowed down, but across the 50 to the 40, and Rebels sandwich him down about the 37. Brevin Olson had a big game against the Rebels the last time these teams met. 6 carries for 70 yards, most of those on a 46-yard run. 16-7, Rebel volleyball team leads. Brevin Olson all the way to the Rebel 37. That's 13 and 14, 27 yards for Olson. His previous 2 carries had gone for 1 and 1 yard. Olson again left side, and this time he's sandwiched down. And he gets down inside the 35. They'll spot him at the 34. A 3-yard gain. Buckaroos with a big lead, 34-0, 2.5 left in the Town of Randolph 3rd quarter. We welcome you tuned in. If you're listening at mylocalradio.com, KDQFM 98.3, or watching at live.ksl.com. Give again to Olson, and this time he is smashed. Trayson Lutz and Jaden Nelson, no. James McKinnon get into the backfield and hammer Olson. He goes off limping, and again, hope that he's okay. Just took a good hit, and we'll look to see him back in here before too long. Don't want to see anybody injured. Olson loses 2. Nebeker back into the game for a 3rd and 9. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Hedgeland the slot on the left side. He's the go-to receiver for Mark Bay. Bay this time goes to Nebeker, caught at the 35, tripped up down to the 31. And that saved a first down, at least for the moment. Flint Silva with a nice tackle out in the open field of Weston Nebeker. They'll mark him at the 30. A generous spot, and the Buckaroos have a 4th and about 3. Bay in the shotgun with 2 receivers, or 2 men, 1 on his left, 1 on his right. Looks left, throws over the middle. He's wide open, and touchdown for Colton Lewis. Rebels sold. They sent the house on the swing pass to Reed Hedgeland, and Bay looked there, then threw the slant to Colton Lewis, and Lewis did the rest. A 30-yard touchdown pass, most of it on the run from Bay to Colton Lewis. 40 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. That makes it 40-0. Lewis came in 4 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. Cedar English kicks the extra point through. It's good. And the Buckaroos lead 41-0 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. Yeah, we should have a running clock the rest of the way, I believe. 9 plays, 80 yards. 25 seconds left in the 3rd, brought to you by the Town of Randolph. The Buckaroos, that drive, 4 minutes and 51 seconds to go, 80 yards on 9 plays. Buckaroos, unless we have just an incredible Rebel comeback, we'll move on to the semifinals, where they'll face the winner between Milford and Layton Christian. Rebel volleyball leading Milford 20-10. In set number 4, Milford took the first 2 sets. Rebel took set 3, and Rich leads in set 4. Rebels getting set for this kick return with 25.2 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And Cedar English to kick it away. I invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show brought to you by Epic Recreation. It'll be our final Rebel post-game show of the season, it looks like. English boots this one short, wobbly line drive. Hunting comes up, tries to scoop it up, fumbles it, then does pick it up about the 26. Gets out to almost the 28. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. We'll have a running clock as Rich takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line when we start the fourth and final quarter. Our third quarter has been brought to you by the Town of Randolph on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Monticello with a huge lead, 41-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. The Rebels have the football, a 1st and 10. Shovel pass up in front to Landon Hunting, and he picks his way across the 35. Out to about the 36. Looks like they'll spot it at the 35. That's a gain of 6. Rebels took set number 4 from Milford, 25-12. So that match tied at 2 games apiece. That's Hunting's second reception of the day. 11 yards. That's 11 yards. Make it 12 yards passing on the day for Stetson Huffaker, who's 3 of 12. In the shotgun, takes the snap, gives, and Hunting up the middle has a first down and more. Drugged down at the 45 by Zach Cecil. So Hunting out to the 45, and that right there, I believe, is the first Rebel first down not on a penalty. Just the second comprehensive family dental first down of the game for Rich. And that's a testament to what Monticello's defense, how tough it's been today. Landon Hunting, 5 carries, 22 yards in the game. And that one for 10 yards and a first down. Rebels with trips right. Huffaker in the shotgun, Hunting in motion. And he gets the shovel pass again around the left side. Got some room to run. Can he get one block? Man, down the sideline, he breaks a tackle to the 30, to the 25. He's hit hard out of bounds. And a big block downfield from Colton Meek to spring Hunting for a few extra yards down the sideline. Rebels' biggest offensive play of the game by far. And they'll spot Landon out at the 31-yard line. That's a 24-yard pass and catch. Rich moving the football. Another comprehensive family dental first down. Huffaker throws. He's got Trineri. Breaks one tackle. Tries to get down. He's inside the 30 to the 26. Hit from behind and brought down. So Trineri with the catch. And they'll spot it down to the 26-yard line. That's Kayson's first completion or first reception of the day. He came in with 34 receptions, 406 yards, and a touchdown. That one goes for 5 yards. A second down and 5 for the Rebel offense. Ball on the right hash. Running clock here in this fourth quarter. Huffaker, pistol shotgun, takes the snap, gives to Hislop up the middle. Ball almost stripped, but Hislop keeps a hold of it and dives inside the 25 to about the 24. A 2-yard gain for Hislop. And with a running clock, the Rebels trailing big, but trying to erase that donut, that bagel on the scoreboard. Go out with a bit of a bang. Rich just 2-7 coming into this game, but that win last week in overtime over Altamont earned them a home game today. Huffaker under center, takes the snap, pushes to the right side. Hislop gives him a push from behind, and Stetson gets down to about the 21. That's about where he needed. This will be very close to a first down. The line judge on the Rebel sideline holds the finger up to say first down. They still have not moved the chains, but the line judge on this side emphatic that it is a first down, and the referee says it is. So Rich needed 3. They got 3 to the 21-yard line. And Rich with another comprehensive Family Dental first down, their second of the drive. Make it third of the drive, their 4th of the game. Huffaker with trips to his left, brings Hunting in motion, pitch to Hunting, or the little shovel to him, and this time Monticello all over it. Hunting doesn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard. It's a high percentage pass, though. Huffaker had completed 2 of 11 passes. He's 4 for his last 4. Hunting with 34 receiving yards on 4 catches. Rebel volleyball just about to start set number 5 against Milford. The winner moves on to face probably Monticello in the semifinals tomorrow at 11. The loser drops into consolation. A second down and 11. Huffaker brings Hunting in motion and steps back, looking to throw deep down the right sideline, looking for Trenary, and it's through the hands of Bay and almost caught by Cason Trenary. Matt Bay was back there. He had it in the breadbasket, but it was kind of over the shoulder, and he bobbled it. Trenary came in from behind and almost came away with the touchdown, but just misses. Just couldn't quite pull it in. So Rich facing a third down and 11. Ball on the right hash, or very close to that right hash. And we've got 6 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in a running clock, 4th quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Huffaker in the shotgun, takes the snap, pressure comes, rolls left. He's going to keep it himself, dives inside the 20. He's hit there and gets to about the 19. This is 4-down territory without question here for Rich, especially in this situation. 6.5 minutes left to go and trailing 41-0 in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. Monticello advance, and they'll play next week on November 3rd. And that is, I believe that's Saturday afternoon. Yeah, that'll be next Saturday afternoon. Monticello will take on the winner between Milford and Layton Christian, but Rich not content to go out with a 0. 4th down and 9. Huffaker throws down the right side, looking for Trenary, and it's just over his head and incomplete. Huffaker ends up on the turf, and we turn it over on downs. So the Monticello Buckaroos will take over from their own 19-yard line. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. That was the Rebels' best possession of the day. They held it for a little more than 6 minutes. That's a running clock, so a little bit longer than it normally would have been. But Buckaroos take over, 1st and 10. Looks like we got a different quarterback in there. I believe that's Devin Hatch, a senior, number 16. From the shotgun, calls for it. That's a low snap, takes it, throws out to his left side. Reed Hedgeland has it, picks his way forward, weaves out to the 25, upended and dropped at the 26-yard line. And Devin Hatch came in 8 of 19, 67 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions on the season. Completes that pass for 7 yards. 2nd down and a short 3. Trips to the right as Monticello getting some younger guys this varsity playoff action. Rebels with Riley Carrillo in the game as well. Throw out to the right side, and it's caught, but nowhere to go. That one broken up by Flint Silva, and the catch was made by, I believe, Tate Ramsey. So Hatch completes the pass, but that one, mark it back at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
No gain on that play.
3rd down and a short 2 for the Buckaroo offense. Rebels looking for a stop here. They want it back and try to put something on the scoreboard, trailing 41-0 late in this Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Snap and give to Olson. No. Throw over the middle, and the intended receiver hits hard into the referee, Cedar English, the intended receiver, and that official, he's not a small character. English got the worst end of that. The official just stood there and took the hit. He looked like, the official was like, did a fly just land on my back? And Cedar English went popping to the ground. So the Buckaroos will line up to punt this one away again with 3:22 left to go. Landon Hunting back to return. English gets a low snap, boots a low line drive away. It bounces at the 50, a Monticello bounce. Rich with a big comeback in the volleyball match, up 6-5. Getting an update from Todd Stacy, and I appreciate that update. Rebels take over from their own 40 with 3 minutes left to go. Clock is running. Rich trying to erase that donut on the scoreboard. Rebels don't want to get bagelled on their final home game, especially for these seniors. Buckaroos will move on and into the semifinals, where they'll play either Milford or Layton Christian next Saturday afternoon. The word is that game will be at Payson High School. That's unofficial. Rebel volleyball team in set number 5 after they lost the first 2 sets, won sets 3 and 4. Give up the middle, and Colton Hislop right up the gut to the 45-yard line. What was that, Rob? So a 5-yard gain for Hislop. Had no carries in the first half. 5 carries, 14 yards here in the second half. Keeping an eye on Rebel volleyball. They're playing Milford. Milford took the first 2 sets. Rebels took sets 3 and 4, and Rich leads 7-5 in set number set number 5. Rebels were down 5-1 or 5-0 in that 4th set, 5-1, but have roared back and lead by 2. 2nd and 5, under 2 to go. Huffaker turns, gives to Hunting, started outside, cuts back in and gains 2. Hayden Weston in there blocking for the Rebels, helps Hunting up off the grass, and Rich takes a timeout. We'll take one as well. 41-0 Buckaroos on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com with a minute and a half left in the 4th.
Once you've visited the Bear Lake Valley, you'll want to come back many more times. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can show you ways you can own a piece of the lake. Whether you want a summer home, a lot, a quarter share in a home, or a place to live year-round, Gary McKee is the #1 real estate agent in Bear Lake. Visit with Gary today and learn about all the options you have. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City, Utah. Visit BearLakeRealty.com.
At Jensen Wood Motor, it's our goal to make sure every customer is a repeat customer. The way we do that, our customers are our friends.
It's our job to help you find what you're looking for at the best possible price. It's always good to know that your salesman is working for you.
We understand that life happens. Sometimes credit isn't perfect. We work hard to find financing options that work best for you.
Stop by today and let's see what we can do for you. Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho.
Rebels bring in some younger guys, and a snap goes way up high. That looked like a punt snap, but was a snap to the quarterback. Rebels recover it back at their own 30. So that's a loss of 17. And Coach Grohl content to just get some experience for his younger guys and not worry about what's on the scoreboard. 41-0 Monticello with the lead. Rebels face a 4th down and about 20. Yeah, 4th and 20. They need the 50, and they'll go for it. Riley Carrillo at quarterback, I formation behind him. Carrillo takes the snap and gives right side. Not much room for Conk. Riker Conk gains a couple to the 33. And so Conk gets a varsity carry out to the 33-yard line, but Rich will turn it over on downs. Monticello will take it over, and they may not even have to take a knee. They'll bring their offense up to the line of scrimmage with 18, 17, 16 seconds on a running clock. And the Buckaroos are going to shut out the Rich Rebels and move on to the semifinals. 41-0, the win for the Monticello Buckaroos, their first win over the Rich Rebels in playoff action since they beat Rich for the 2004 state championship. The Buckaroos are moving on. The Rebels finished the season 2-8 overall this year. Buckaroos even their record at 5-5, a 41-0 victory for Monticello. And Weston Nebaker with 4 rushing touchdowns, 186 yards on the ground today. Mark Bay with 25 completions for 216 yards, and the Buckaroos win 41-0. Stay tuned. We've got your Epic Recreation post-game show coming up when we return on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com, and live.ksl.com.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
If you haven't eaten a famous Crawford Angus burger at the Crawford Trough in Randolph, you haven't lived. It starts with a 1/4 pound Angus beef, pastrami, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and ranch sauce. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. The only thing that makes it better is when you add an order of home-cut fries and a fresh raspberry shake. Heaven. Stop in and enjoy a burger today. The Crawford Trough, open later on every Rich High home game day. 120 South Main, Randolph.
Welcome back to Rich High School and the site of this year's quarterfinal matchup between Rich and Monticello. Welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Epic Recreation. Make your vacation an epic one to remember. Visit epicrecreation.net for all your rentals in Bear Lake. epicrecreation.net. Time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston. At, again, 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meet. That's Jimmy John's. And in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs, Rebels, by virtue of a coin toss, get the first-round playoff game at home, hosting the Monticello Buckaroos. Buckaroos had won 13-7 over the Rebels at Monticello in September, and the Rebels were hoping for a similar type score. Buckaroos had different ideas. They took their opening possession, 9 plays, 64 yards. Weston Nebaker, a 19-yard touchdown run. Couple possessions later, Nebaker punched it in from 3 yards out. A few possessions later, Nebaker another from 7 yards out. He would score one more time before the day was over from 23 yards out. Rebels forced some early turnovers in the first half but could not capitalize, and Rich finished with just 87 yards of offense. Weston Nebaker, 186 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the day, and Mark Bay goes 25 of 36 for 216 yards, a touchdown, no picks, and the Buckaroos cruise to a 41-0 win in the quarterfinals over the Rich Rebels. So Monticello, they've been hot for the last 3 weeks. They'll look to continue that next week against either Milford or Layton Christian. The Rebels, unfortunately, that is the end of the 2018 football season. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, where fresh and fast meet. Gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day at Jimmy John's, 113 Front Street in Evanston. Well, you're tuned into the Epic Recreation postgame show. The Rebels volleyball team lost the first 2 sets against Milford. One set 3, one set 4, and lead 14-9 in set number 5. If you're watching online on KSL, the Rebels with the hit is long and out, and it's 14-10. Rich needs just one more point. It's set and match point, and boy, I just got to keep an eye on this thing. I can't turn away from it as Milford gets set to serve. You may be watching this at home. Rebels get a good pass. High and outside on the set. Big hit, and it's in there. The Rebels win. A come-from-behind victory against Milford. Rich loses the first 2 sets, wins sets 3, 4, and 5 to take the match and move on to the semifinals where they'll face likely Monticello. Joining us on the postgame show brought to you by Epic Recreation is Coach Justin Grohl. And Coach, I turned my attention to volleyball for just a moment there. Your Rebels just won.
Well, that's great. I'm glad they're doing very well down there, and I wish them all the best. They've got a good group, and I wish them the best.
How you feeling about today's game, the 41-0 loss to Monticello?
You know, it's a tough one. I can't take anything away from Monticello. You know, they had a game plan, and they stuck with it and did everything that they wanted to do. And, you know, I just wish that would have happened with us. But, you know, sometimes you have to take the good with the bad.
they were able to really move the ball. That their running game was working, the passing game was on. They just seem to be on today.
Yeah, they've played exceptional last few weeks, and they're just keep going. So I can't take anything away from them.
Coach, let's just talk kind of about the season as a whole. Your first season as the Rebel football coach.
Yeah, it was a struggle. We had some good expectations, and just seems like sometimes ball didn't bounce our way, and we had a lot of ups and downs, and you have that in a season. You just have to take it what you have and what you can, and go from there.
We did see some real good things this year. I mean, that win over Kanab, the unwillingness to give up, the never-ending fight through every game, and especially we saw that last week in the win over Altamont.
Yeah, the kids did well, and they give us everything, and so we just gotta to keep going and build. Next year we got to really. We had quite a few seniors, but a lot of the underclassmen really stepped up and played very well and got a lot of experience. So we should be able to come back and do just as well. And I hope that we move forward from there.
Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, thank you so much.
We'll keep it short and sweet then today. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you. We'll let you get back to the girls.
All right. Justin Kroll, the Rich Rebel head football coach, finishing up his first season as head coach of the Rich Rebel football team. And Rich goes 2-8, some good wins. A win on homecoming. That was the first homecoming win for the Rebel football team in a number of years. They beat Altamont in overtime last week with a walk-off field goal. They earned a first-round playoff game at home. That was today, but Monticello just came out on top in this one. They outplayed the Rebels, a 41-0 victory. Well, stay tuned. We've got more of your Epic Recreation postgame show coming up. We'll give you some final highlights and stats. We'll also hear from Ruth Ann Jarman, the Rebel Drill Team Director, on our Rebel Sports Update. That's coming up when we return on The Wildlife, mylocalradio.com, and live.ksl.com.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic Recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need: boats, sea-doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Winston Churchill said, "No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle." The same is true about education. No hour of life is wasted when learning. Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, understand the value of good education. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, Mound Valley Cattle Company is proud to support the students at Rich High School in academics and activities. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Welcome back to the Epic Recreation post-game show. Some quick highlights and stats for you. The Rebels, early on, it looked like it could be close. The Rebels recovered a fumbled punt. Casey Trineri ran that back for 6 points, but can't advance a fumbled punt, so that score didn't count. But they did force that turnover. They forced a fumble a little bit later, but they just couldn't get anything going offensively. Rich finished, by my stats, these are unofficial, but I had Rich with just 87 yards of offense, 40 through the air, 47 on the ground, and it was Landon Hunting with 6 carries, 24 yards, leading the way on the ground for Rich. Polar opposite for the Monticello Buckaroos. Weston Nebaker, 18 carries, 186 yards. That's better than 10 yards per carry. 4 touchdowns on the day. Pushes his total to 15 touchdowns on the season, and he's at well over 1,200 rushing yards on the year. So Weston Nebaker having a nice senior year. Mark Bay, I had him 25 of 36, 216 yards and a touchdown with no picks. He was solid, consistent, smart, made good throws, and didn't cost his team the game in any way. In fact, led his team to that 41-0 victory. Stephen Robinson, 6 receptions for 91 yards. Reed Hedgeland, 8 receptions, 50 yards and a touchdown. And Carson King with 5 receptions for 29 yards as well. Hedgeland with a big punt return to start this second half. Set up Nebaker's 4th touchdown run of the day. And the Buckaroos, boy, if you look offensively, they had more than 4 times the offense than the Rebels did in that game. And they just ran away with it. You can see that on the scoreboard. I think the score reflects just how this game went. Monticello 41, Rebels nothing on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Well, you're tuned into the Epic Recreation postgame show. We'll take a quick break and be back with the Rebel Sports Update. We'll talk with Ruth Ann Jarman, the Rebel Drill Team Director, right after this on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. It's refreshing to know that when you're at Bear Lake, you can shop at a sporting goods store that treats you right. Pugstone Sporting has served residents and visitors for over 18 years. Get all you need to have fun at the lake and in the mountains. Licenses to fish and hunt, boat supplies, flotation devices, clothing, fishing equipment, toys for the kids, guns, and, of course, rentals. Winter, summer, spring, or fall, Pugstones has it all. Want it delivered to your door? Shop online, pugstonesporting.com. Ryan Steinekert with Ruth Ann Jarman of the Rich Rebel Drill Team. Coach, thanks for your time.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
How's the 2018 drill season going?
Awesome. It's probably, I finally am starting to feel like I know what I'm doing or what I'm at least getting into, so it's been really fun. We're making good progress.
This is your, is it fourth year?
Yes.
And you're now just starting to feel like you're getting to know where you're going.
Yes, and in the drill world, I'm actually pretty veteran. They don't last long.
Some of these things just take time to get there, right?
Right. It's a lot of learning curve, a big learning curve.
Coach, there's been a lot of, I think, excitement from the girls, from the school, and that continues to grow. Your team is as big as ever.
It is. We've got 20 girls, and they're awesome, and we've got some veterans, which is really nice.
So you're in your fourth year, and if you compare that to, like, you know, a coach that's finally getting his system learned and things like that in football or basketball or anything else, is that what you're getting to with the girls as well?
Yes, I feel like we're starting to get a system and finding out what works and doesn't work. We're still finding a lot of things that don't work, but we are finding some things that do work and getting prepared a little bit sooner than we normally have, and the girls that know what they're getting into, so they can teach the younger ones, and so it's a lot smoother right now.
And how valuable is it to have some of these girls, the seniors, Janica Carver and others, who've now been doing it for 3 or 4 years, to have that leadership?
Well, we have 4 of our 6 seniors are all 4 years. Have been here all 4 years, and they're amazing. We only have 1 senior that's new this year, and she's amazing. She's been very good to contribute, and we just have a lot of good leadership. Sometimes almost too much, the girls say. But they've each got their strengths, and they're working together really well, so it's coming together. And the best is that they can be such role models for those younger underclassmen.
Is it a challenge for you, or is practice just naturally fun? Rehearsal, the girls have fun with it, or do you have to find things to make it a little more exciting?
We have to find things to make it exciting. I have to work really hard on practice plans and having goals and letting them see what we're working toward and what our goal is for that day, or it will just get, you could eat up time super fast if you don't say, okay, here's what we have to do, and then get the girls to focus and try to have fun along the way.
Your performances in football games, halftime shows, how have those gone from a director's standpoint?
Well, I learned this is one of the things I've learned is that I can't focus on the perfection of those as much because there's so many variables, whether when they paint the lines, when we can practice. Grass is bumpy, so it's hard. So I finally have tried to let go of the perfectionism on that so that we can focus on our competition routines, and I do feel like that's putting us ahead for competition this year. So things are looking better there. Where they may not have looked as perfect on the field as I would like them to be, it's been a good move.
You get another performance this weekend with the football team earning a home game in the first round of the playoffs. Is that exciting for you and the girl?
Yeah, it's a surprise. So we'll have a surprise performance. We're not sure what it's going to be yet, but we'll pull something together.
That's something you'll work on in practice and decide what to do.
Right.
Coach, I know talking with some of your girls during this fall season, the team, at least what I've been told, a goal of taking state this year?
I think we have a good chance if we work hard, and the girls all meet their own individual goals, and then as a team we work hard. It kind of depends on how our competition shows up. If we were to compete this team with last year's other teams, I think we would have a really good chance at state. But if they show up with different, you never know who's going to join their teams too. At 1A, it's just you know how 1A is. It's just who you end up with that year.
There might be a team that has a high cycle as far as their drill team participation goes, and they may show up real strong.
Correct. So it could go either way. They could have lost a bunch of seniors, or they could have gained a bunch of really great freshmen. So you just never know. We'll just do the best that we can, and that's what we're focusing on, is just meeting our goals and doing the best that we can.
Anything else we should touch on today, Coach?
I'm super excited for this year. We have some great routines. We've had some great choreography going on, and the girls are working so hard. And I feel really focused and ready to go into this season. So it's great.
Ruth Ann Jarman, director of the Rich Rebel Drill Team. Thanks so much for your time and good luck.
Thanks, Ryan.
That's the Rebel Sports Update with Ruth Ann Jarman, Drill Team Director at Rich High School. One more quick break and we'll wrap this thing up on the Wildlife, mylocalradio.com and live.ksl.com.
In addition to local information and the best live coverage of local sports, you can stream music 24/7 at mylocalradio.com. Log on and choose the music you like best. Classic or modern country, indie, adult contemporary, or classic rock, stream it live through your computer or cell phone. Listen to the music you want and don't miss the information you need. Like us on Facebook and visit mylocalradio.com today.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need. Boats, Sea-Doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Welcome back to the post-game show brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net for all your rentals in the Bear Lake area. 41-0, the Monticello Buckaroos with a dominant win. And, boy, especially when you consider when Rich played at Monticello earlier this season, it was a close game. 13-7 was the final score. Monticello won that one, but the Buckaroos run away with this one, 41-0. Again, Weston Nebaker, 186 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Mark Bay, 216 yards and a touchdown through the air. And Monticello shuts out the Rebels. Rich they've been shut out a number of times this season against Westside, which is one of the top teams in Idaho's 2A division, and got shut out by Duchesne, by Parowan as well, and now a 4th time against the Monticello Buckaroos. And Monticello seems to be peaking at the right time. We'll see how they do next week. They'll take on either the winner, either Milford or Layton Christian. That game is next Saturday, November 3rd. Now, the word is from the UHSAA that game would be at Payson High School. That's not official yet, but that is the word I received earlier this week. Duchesne and Kanab play tomorrow. Parowan and Altamont in action right now. And again, the word is if Kanab wins that one and you have a Kanab versus Parowan semifinal, then that would be played at Cedar High School. If it's Parowan versus Duchesne or Altamont versus Duchesne, it would be at Payson High School as well. So you could have 2 different locations for semifinal football next week. We'll know for sure about that in the coming days, and you can check back on the UHSAA website for details on that. Either way, you can watch the live streams next week here on mylocalradio.com of Monticello versus either Milford or Layton Christian, and then the winners between Parowan, Altamont, and Duchesne versus Kanab. As for Rich Rebels, the volleyball tournament continues. Rich with a come-from-behind win over Milford, lost the first 2 sets, but then won sets 3, 4, and 5, including 15-10 in that 5th set. And the Rebels advanced to the semifinals to face. Rhett, do you know? Did Monticello win their quarterfinal match? Probably will be against the Buckaroos. They're taking on Valley this afternoon. That's a pretty solid team as well. So Rich will be in the semifinals tomorrow against either Valley or it is against Monticello. Just got word that the Buckaroos did win. So it's Rich versus Monticello tomorrow, 11 a.m. And you can listen live at mylocalradio.com. And on KADQ, we'll have a live stream going with audio only and a scoreboard up there on mylocalradio.com tomorrow, starting at pregame at about 10:30 right here on KADQ. Now, looking ahead to the rest of this weekend on KADQ and what you can look forward to, University of Wyoming Cowboys are in action tonight at Colorado State. It's the border war at Canvas Stadium at Colorado State. Pregame's tonight at 7 p.m., kickoff at 8 here on KADQ. Then tomorrow, as I mentioned, Rebel Volleyball at State. The semifinals at 11. Our pregame coverage starts at 10:30. Also tomorrow, the Rich Middle School Royals wrestling team starts the season at Green River, and they start things off at 9 a.m. a.m. tomorrow morning at Green River. Looking ahead just a little bit to next Monday, community bond election meeting is at Rich Middle School at 6 p.m. And if you need to get educated about the expansion project proposal, make sure to attend that meeting. Again, 6 p.m. Monday night at Rich Middle School. I think that's going to do it for our broadcast. Our post-game show is brought to you by Epic Recreation. For your rentals in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net. For today's videographer, Rob Leifson, our producer, AJ Lamb, back in the studio. Congratulations to Monticello. Big win today, 41-0. Wishing the best of luck to the Buckaroos, their fans, and other teams as well. I'm Ryan Steinekert. We'll talk with you again soon. Thanks for tuning in.
You've been tuned into Rich High School Rebel football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals. Plains Tire, mylocalradio.com, Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho, Evanston Regional Hospital, Rocky Mountain Yeti, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, and by Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan. The preceding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights holder.
Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with KNYN Sports Director, Jake Hibbert, Bridger Valley Sports Director, Sean Bennett, and production assistants, Jordan Bowie and AJ Lamb. Biggest thanks to all of our sponsors. We thank you so much, and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KDQ FM 98.3 and online at mylocalradio.com. Until the next time Rich High football team takes the field,